I really hope my internet connection isn't screwing around this week.
Well, we are live, and we can still hear you, Smitty, FYI. Hello, everybody.
Oh, what's up?
Experiencing some technical difficulties. Microphones aren't working exactly correct, so we're going to be a little slow to the start of this show. And our special surprise guests, plural, are on their way. They're running a little behind as well. So, for everyone who's in the group chat, we love you. Thank you for coming. Welcome to Snakes and Stogies, episode 130 on
130.
the Herpetoculture Network. As always, my name is Mr. Phil Wolf, and I'm joined by the ungodly, breathtakingly foot modeling Smitty.
Hello.
So, what's new, Smitty?
Nothing. I got some screaming ass kids in the front yard chasing each other around like a bunch of hooligans. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not.
That'll happen. 'Tis the season.
Yeah, so this is going to be an awesome episode. We figured we'd go ahead and get sort of just our general intro update stuff out the way. And then once our guests get here, we'll cut away for a few minutes to get everything settled and rocking and rolling, and then we'll jump right back in. This is probably going to be one of the longer episodes, if I had to guess.
I would assume so. I would hope so.
So, as you can see, there are two chairs empty right over here. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. But again, despite how great this is going to be, this show could not be done without the fine people of the Pacific Northwest, the Gendra, the Puget Sound pythons.
Somewhere over here, that direction,
That general direction.
right over there, yeah.
As well as the master craftspeople, the artisans of cage design, BlackBoxCages.com.
Choop. Boom. You need a rack, you need a cage. Hit them up, Facebook, Instagram, BlackBoxCages.com. You shan't regret it. We are monetized now, but I doubt we're going to see any actual... Oh, well, it's not a surprise anymore because the name was on the... Okay, well,
all right. Good job. Good job.
We are literally raking in dollars. Yes, so as you can see, because I ruined it, because I didn't take my name down, we're going to be joined by Mr. P. Kahl and Tim Morris. So
yes, we will.
Yes, I know it gives it away. So they're in town for an evening on their way down south into, I guess, Phil's state.
Nice.
So they made a stop here, and they've been driving all day, so that's why they are a few minutes late. But what are you doing? Hello.
Hi, Katie's body.
Oh. What? Look at that. I forgot we got super chats now.
What's a super chat?
It's where people can just randomly give you money, I guess. I don't know how this thing works. I've never used it before.
Andy Middleton says T-minus 11 days.
That's right.
You know what he's talking about.
I am officially... Oh, I thought that was like a giant bug on the wall. There's a bug on my screen. I thought that was on the wall. It's like, oh my God. It's the biggest roach I've ever seen. I am going to Daytona.
Yay.
I shall be there. So that's been... What are you... There's... Jesus.
There's two of her.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's up, Blondie?
He said, what's up?
Use the microphone.
The one behind your big old head. There you go.
I was just telling Justin that you need to come visit us.
She was.
I know. I'm long overdue. Long overdue.
You're gonna be in the Carolinas, aren't you? I heard you say that on the new Venom Exchange Radio episode.
I will. I don't remember. It is going to be like the first week in November, I think. So I got to look at the dates, and I got to confirm with the B&B too. So
we needed moderators last week with the weird sex link spam.
So what's funny is one of my friends that I do coin stuff with, he has a live show that he does live auctions and bin sales on Monday nights, and he gets probably over 100 live viewers on YouTube for his sales, and he got the exact same like algorithm,
Like the same night.
the same exact like heart emojis with the stars and stuff, the same name. And the only reason why I know that is because our other friend had both us and him on two different screens while him and his fiance were hanging out because they were just bored on a Monday night. Why not,
Nice.
right? And they were like, "Oh my god, they both got spammed at the same time."
Hey, what?
Wow.
What, Mike? What are you
Is that
doing, bro?
I think that's a typo.
No way.
He didn't mean to pay you.
That's gotta be a typo.
He paid you $99.99.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of wondered it was somebody somewhere hates us and was like, this thing is being slow, man. Scott said, I reckon it was picking up on Nipper Reed's search history.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Mike said it's real. Look at that.
Mike, you're too much, man. We love you, brother.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see you.
appreciate that.
11 days and we get to see you.
Too much in
Wanna-
a great way.
I don't think Cuppins is going. Cuppins on the West Coast.
No, I thought he was coming.
Kasicki's going.
Oh, Kasicki, Cuppins isn't coming?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, I thought he was.
I think he wanted to.
He was going to be one of the illustrious 4 or 5 West Coasters.
Maybe he is. I don't. It's hard to keep track of everybody at this point. So
Well, thank you, Mike.
JT's here. Middleton's here. He's been here. Lance Kirkman's here. Yeah,
All our favorite people.
they're gonna be here soon.
So,
Another
how's
3 easy
babies?
payments of $99.99. You'll get a CondraCast episode.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. So, how's baby, Smitty?
So the het hypo, the lone het hypo baby, looks to be female, which is awesome because that's what I needed. I was worried it would be a male because I have
Cool.
males already and plenty of them. I have no females with any hypo thing going on, so it works out. And then the Loma Altas are all due to start their first sheds here soon, and then I'm going to do popping and see what I got ratio-wise there. I'm trying to convince Alan Stevens to send me a Kim or two in exchange for some of those.
Nice.
Because I have that BlackBox cage coming sometime in the next couple weeks for the Ackies to do a video on that and unboxing and all that good stuff to show y'all. Well, I mean, we talked about the shipping that you received when you got yours, and I was like,
Yeah.
we gotta show that off again. And Jen says it's gotten even better because they're just making their own boxes now. Like they're putting together their own boxes instead of trying to find ones to make things fit. They just went the other way and made their own. So Mike Kasicki is not the Wish version of Mike Cuppins.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
The CondraCast is not dead, Cox.
And Mike Kasicki, you are getting a big bear hug when I see you. 110%.
And he's getting a corn. He's getting a corn from me.
Oh, nice.
I owe him at least one.
We need to. I saw Mike talking in the group chat earlier about getting a little schnockered back in the day. We got to recreate some of them stories.
I don't know, man. He's not the young bull he once was.
Oh man. Well, I got a surprise that I was not expecting in the least capacity.
Also, real quick, while you're doing that,
Yes.
Blood Red female, I came home and she had dropped one more slug, and she has one more waiting. So
We're almost there.
Once this last one goes out, good riddance. Maybe we'll try again next year. I don't know. I'm kind of a little gun shy with her now. So Henry said his BlackBox order came on a damn pallet.
Nice. Well, Henry also has very, very large BlackBox enclosures.
Yeah.
So
when you get the one that's like 10 by 10.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, they could have just shipped it crappy. But no, they took the time to actually palletize it. You know.
Well, you see, I mean, how many times have you gotten something from any other company, especially if they had like glass or something? Those come in broken or things get chipped because FedEx and UPS just, I guess, throw boxes around like they're
Oh yeah.
like they're playing soccer or something.
Oh
And
yeah.
So I mean, at least they're curbing the headache by trying to pack it once and like measure twice, pack once kind of thing. So
Yeah, the way it should be.
Yeah.
The way it should be.
Other than that, Ladies Island corns will be for sale at Billy and Casey's table if you're going to Daytona. So pretty much sold out of corns now because they bought them all, which helped me
Nice.
go to Daytona. So
Excellent.
If you want Ladies Island corns, they're going to have some. And they're going to have AD-owns because I have one that has still not eaten. And then I have 2 that are holdbacks, 2 that are going to KP, and yeah. So
nice, good stuff. I will have Nephris Initiative T-shirts and, drumroll please, Venom Exchange Radio T-shirts.
Yeah.
But they are in extremely limited quantities. So if you want one, go to Billy and Casey's table, and you'll find them there.
Mexican pine all the way. Sean.
Somebody say Jana? Jana?
Yeah, he said hypo still water bowl or Mexican pine. And I think
No,
Jana.
Yeah.
Way to go. I like mine that Chris sent me. It's cool. His name's Jared the Jani.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Little monster. It's a cool little snake.
Hell yeah. Well, let me show the surprise real quick. It's very anticlimactic, especially
what kind of shirts did you get the Venom Exchange Radio ones made on?
They're
like regular Gildans?
No, they're not Gildans. No, I can't remember. They might be Gildans. It's a polyester blend. I can't remember now. But they're the same quality as the.
Hold on a second.
So, what's up? Well, looks like our guests may have arrived. So I'm going to show you my egg surprise. I was not expecting that. That's another Nephris cinctus egg. So this would be a single breeding second lay, but it's interesting because the first clutch was only 1 egg, and now I've got a second clutch of 1 egg. And this girl has consistently thrown double egg clutches for multiple years. So it's very interesting to me as to what's going through her little noggin. And at first, I thought that was just the bottom of the tub, and clearly it's not. So I don't know if it's fertile. It did not candle well at all. So fingers crossed, and we'll see what pops out in a couple weeks. So
nice.
Yes, sir. Have our guests arrived?
No, but their pizza did. So their pizza got here before they.
Fair enough. Oh man.
Is that a Nephris egg? Another one?
Yeah, another cinctus.
Nice.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's fertile, man. It candled really, really bad, and I just couldn't find the vein. And no halo or nothing, but it looks good. It felt really good. I got it like easily an hour or 2 within her laying it. So that made me happy.
Cheeto egg round 2.
Yeah, that's it, Billy Jenkins. Cheeto egg round 2. And I'm really, really bad at getting to them on time because I don't know if they're going to lay at 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. And it looks like this one was probably laid at like maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. And I pulled it out at like 7 a.m. So a few hours later, maybe.
30 minutes or less on your podcast guests are free. Nice.
Well, brother, what are you smoking tonight?
I have a T52 lined up.
Nice.
And then I have a Cro-Magnon. And then for Pete, I think I got a Antonio, Connecticut, because apparently he will smoke.
All right. Good. Excellent. I was in an extra oily kind of mood, so I had an LFD. I'm pretty sure you gave me this one LFD.
Was that a single or double Lajero?
I think it is a double. Yep, it
Oh
is.
yeah, boy, that'll put some hair on your chest.
I know. And what's funny is you sniff certain cigars, you don't sniff other ones because you've sniffed them a million times. But dude, when I cracked the wrapper, when I cracked the cellophane on this, I know this sounds so cliche, but dude, a legit hit of chocolate, and I was like, no way. And like I did one of the old cliche, you know. And dude, I'm very excited. So I'm actually gonna light this up now. Why not? We're live.
Do it. BlackBox is not vending Daytona this year, but you can still order one, Danielle, if you go to blackboxcages.com. Danielle is also planning to dip her toes into the snake pool. She was trying to decide between a corn
Really?
snake and a sand boa, and I said corn snake, but
dude,
on second
corn
thought,
snake.
get a rhino. Like, what are you doing? Go for
Don't-
broke.
Don't go crazy just yet. I vote corn snake, 110%.
Rhinos are just the green horned corn snakes of the trees.
Corn snake first, lamprey pelt is second.
No. Get a carpet, get a chondro. There's going to be a lot to talk about tonight, though. I mean, we've had Tim on previously, so
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered a lot of that, but I don't know, man. Get a Barons. No, man, Barons aren't nearly as awesome as rhinos.
Keller, I'm with you, man. Team Barons.
I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it?
What is it about Barons that makes everyone like them so much more than rhinos?
First things first. A little heavier bodied, obviously not as arboreal. The braided pattern, the high color, the blues, the greens, slightly more spicy, just a little more sass to them. I'm in. Me and Keller, Team Barons. I don't even own one. And to be honest, I've been procrastinating hanging out with Kevin because I know he's going to be like, "Hey man, I got eggs
pop
coming
in your hands."
Exactly. And that I'm staying away. So,
our rhinos hatched silver and mottled. Yes, they hatch out like a silver, and then they morph into like a tannish color, which eventually morphs into like a green. It's kind of an odd OCC, but
yeah, they
pretty
look
cool
like
to see.
they look like those gray phase Ayatollah, the vine snakes.
Oh yeah, they do. I never
They
thought
look
about
like
that.
Yeah, they have that like blackish gray pattern. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Poplin carpets wouldn't be bad. His eggs just hatched. Keller's did, so he's got a bunch of Barons babies. Next thing to hatch, next clutch for me to hatch, and last one of the year, at least that I'm aware of, is the thorn scrubs.
Oh, nice. I forgot about them too.
They've still got a ways to go. I don't think those will be hatching until next month. I need to look, see, and do some math and get a rough calculation of when I can expect them to at least start pipping.
Yeah, man. Pungent.
Very,
very pungent. Just what I wanted for tonight.
Sometimes, man, when you like, I don't know about you, but anytime I eat like a big meal or something, I gotta have just a like knock you on your ass strong cigar.
Yeah,
like it's gotta happen. I just gotta have something strong.
Yeah, and I feel like when I typically smoke cigars in the evening, and I try not to drink coffee in the evening for obvious reasons. But I feel like if I drink coffee during the day, and I'm going to have a smoke, it's got to be a dark cigar for me, at least.
They just rolled up.
Excellent. Good. Yes. Well, folks, while Justin goes and meets and greets them and does the whole handshaking and such, You've got me by myself. I hope you enjoy it. Facebook user, yo. I assume that it's Cody Bartolini. I'm hoping it is. But yeah, definitely Team Bear and I. And that's honestly one of the only South American species that I'm really kind of interested in. I had false water cobras for a long time, big ones. And my big breeder female passed away. And after that, I was kind of hit, and I wound up selling off a couple of things. And now I don't have anything South American, but there is a few things that interest me, Barons being one of them. And Billy Jenkins, the sweet sound of Phil. Oh, it's not Cody, it's Daffy. What's up, brother? Yeah, Daffy, you got to fix that Facebook thing. When it's on Facebook, typically we can't see who it is. So, but yeah, man, I'm glad to see you're following along. And no, Jason Keller, I don't need Urutus. I've had Urutus, and dude, they're gorgeous animals, man. I'm just not a Bothrops guy. I'm just not. I've had Asper, I've had Atrox, I've had Venezuelensis. Venezuelensis were kind of cool. They reminded me a lot of Dinocystrodon. Very, very cool. And they're sexually dimorphic, which I thought was really cool too. The Venezuelensis, at least from what I remember. I could be mistaken. Someone's going to yell at me. But I think I would totally get, excuse me, if somebody presented me with Goldens, I'd probably keep a Golden just to have one. But I don't know. And Henry got me on the whole aquatic coral snakes. I mean, those things are incredible. I can't do snake eaters. I got not enough time and too much of a heart to do it, I guess. So, but yeah, tonight's show is going to be pretty awesome. I'm glad everyone could join. We got a full house tonight, and hopefully Peter and Tim can ignite us with their vast amounts of knowledge and herp history. Both of them have been around the block more than one time. This is definitely not their first rodeo. And I like how they both have different avenues of herpetoculture. They've both kept a wide assortment of both common and eclectic species, and they're both pavers of what we have now. I mean, that's what I'm really hoping to talk about tonight is some herp history and some morphology and just herp history. I mean, I'm a loss for words. I can actually, you guys can't see it, but I get to see the other camera, and I see them standing around talking. And it's cool, man. It's the anticipation. I hope that I'm doing a good enough job building your guys' anticipation for what's about to go down. That's funny. You guys are funny in the chat. Billy Jenkins says, "It's time," Bruce Buffer voice. I'm not even going to attempt that because I know one of you savages is going to pick that recording out and use it against me. So that won't happen. Sorry. And I feel like my voice is a little more raspy tonight. I don't know if it was something I ate. Maybe I've just been chain smoking so much. I don't know. I feel like I gotta. You guys ever see that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry gets a pube haired in his throat and he's coughing for like 2 episodes straight? That's how I feel right now. So yeah, 11 days to Daytona. It's going to be monumental, kids. It really is. I'm very, very excited. For those of you who are unaware, myself, Billy Hunt, Casey Cannon, and Billy's fiance, Anita, are going to be sharing a table. Billy will have his full normal table, and then the three of us will have our little table. Casey's going to have a ton of stuff that he's been working on in secret. I mean, there's going to be some Python stuff. There's going to be some colubrid stuff. So some of the stuff that isn't necessarily public knowledge that he keeps kind of like his side projects. So definitely come check out the table, Uabami Reptiles and Cannon Fire Reptiles. And then Anita actually has a whole line of Chondro-inspired shirts with some amazing graphics on them. Some cartoony, some realistic, some floral, keeping with the Uabami Reptiles theme. It has some Asian stuff, some some lilies and orchids and stuff like that. So you definitely got to come check out her shirts. Her shirts are going to be awesome. And like I said earlier, I'll have some Nephra shirts and some Venom Exchange radio shirts as well. We're actually got a great spot at the show. We're in between Tiki's Geckos and Adeline Robinson. So if you're coming to see Tiki stuff or you're coming to see Adeline's art, well, me, Casey, Billy, and Anita are going to be smack dab in the middle. So definitely come say hello. I'm going to have some Venom Exchange radio stickers and some Venomous Etiquette video Cobra stickers that I will be giving away to anyone who wants to come by and say hello. No obligation. I don't have many, so whoever comes and gets them first, come and get them. And yeah, definitely do sticker swap too. So if anybody has stickers that they're bringing, even if you're not vending Daytona, let's do some sticker swapping. Plastered on those humidor cases. You know how we do. Side of the rack system. So Mike says he wants to see those shirts. Damn good placement. Thanks, Kasicki. And yeah, what's funny is that Billy Jenkins says it's a great spot. It is. We didn't ask about it. We didn't plan it. There was one group of vendors. I mean, Billy's in charge of all the table stuff. We trust him with that. And there's a group of vendors that pulled together and they contacted the show promoter and were like, hey, we want to take up a whole aisle. Can we do this? So, the promoter called Billy and was like, hey, man, I bumped you. Do you want over here or do you want over here? And Billy says, well, as long as we're not in left field, I'd like to be towards the center. So they stuck us next to our friends, which is great. So I don't even know if Manny and Tiki know that we're there, but my full intention is to get actual spitballs in a straw and just shoot them at Manny and Tiki the entire show. See how long before they throw a blue tongue skink at me. That's a literal goal of mine. So yeah, this year's going to be a lot of fun. The vendor list is incredible. A lot of cool animals. We all joked about how last year was the year of the colubrid because all of us had them. All of us aspired to do some projects. And I feel like now some of those projects came to full fruition. Some of those are still incubating, for lack of a better synonym. And I know we all have some colubrids on the radar. We have some pythons on the radar. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be a good boy and not look for anything. But, you can't go to Daytona and not come home with something. I mean, you can't. It's like a rule, So even if it is a Chondro t-shirt or a sticker or something. So, and I always say that Daytona is, you go there because you want to see the show and you want to see the animals, but it's really about hanging out with chosen family. The people there, the stories, the experiences, the laughs, the riots, metaphorical riots, of course. That's why we go. We go to hang out with chosen family. The animals are strictly a bonus, and obviously some people, it's their business, it's their livelihood. Rock and roll, we're there to support you guys too. So that's what we do. And yes, Danielle, we will definitely help you pick out the perfect snake. It's what we do. It's all we know, some of us. So. And yeah, Dylan says he's a sucker for artwork. I get messed up because there's so much amazing artwork. And then they usually have that like gallery in the corner that has all prints and originals for sale that the artist isn't necessarily there. So you can like reach out to them and talk to them and contact them. And then for those who are unaware, maybe this is your first Daytona. I believe it's Saturday night. Don't quote me on that. But Saturday night, they usually have some kind of, or Friday night, they have some turtle talks, some kind of symposium stuff where, I think it's the Wood Turtle Society or Wood Turtle Club or something. They do some turtle talks about some scientific turtle stuff, which is awesome. And then Saturday night, they'll have the US Ark auctions where they'll have a live auction where all the proceeds go to helping US Ark. And they also have a silent auction. And the silent auction is the way to go. For those of you who are unaware what a silent auction is, countless individuals donate items. It could be husbandry equipment. It could be books. It could be artwork. It could be live animals. So there is a lot of live animals there. They donate them, and there's a piece of paper, and all you do is write your name and how much money you want to bid. And eventually, at the very end, they call it, and whoever the last name on the paper is wins that item, and you pay for it and get it. So I actually like the silent auctions. I think it's a lot of fun. especially when you're going head to head against your friends.
Hello.
Hey, you're back. So I was just
We
giving
are.
everyone a quick synopsis of what to expect at Daytona.
Hold on a second. I can sort of hear you, but I can't. Okay, there we go. So Tim's finishing the slice of pizza, and then he's about to hop on, and then I got to. Pete wants to see some snakes real quick.
Okay, no problem.
So,
me and Tim will hold down the fort.
all right, sounds good.
So, Casey Cannon's in the group chat now. And yeah, Scott says that silent auctions are okay, not so good on a podcast. Yes, they are very difficult on podcasts, to say the least. But when you come to Daytona, even if you don't bid on anything, just showing up and being part of it is still a great experience. It's a lot of fun. They have a bar there, so if you're so inclined, I know most of us will be imbibing that evening. And then, of course, the unofficial Snakes and Stogies gazebo. So if you happen to go in the back of the resort and you see a bunch of degenerates smoking cigars and laughing and talking about snakes around a gazebo, that's going to be us. So Casey Gann says, this is like the third time today I've talked to Phil. I actually think this is the third time. So that's good. That's good. We love you. So if any of you in the group chat have any questions for Pete or Tim, feel free to ask them. We're going to try and get to them and kind of throw them up. We wanted to keep this a surprise. Obviously, we kind of ruined the surprise by putting their names on the board, but it's still going to be good regardless. So Tyler says, showing off your reptiles to Pete Kahl, no big deal. That's cool, man, right? Love it. And yeah, Scott, you got to come to Daytona one year, man. It's only 3 days. It's only 2.5 days, you fly in, force yourself to stay awake for 18 hours, sleep in a little bit, have some drinks, see some snakes, see some lizards, see some turtles, see some amphibs, go to bed, fly home. That's the way to do it. And yeah, Scott, we'll definitely ask him that. Definitely. And yeah, Andy, we'll touch base on that too. You guys are gonna have to remind me, because I know Smitty's not reading this right now. He's off camera doing production things. You're stuck with me. I'm Batman.
See it right on there. That's you. Oh, nice. I get the nice headphones.
There we go.
Hey,
There
man,
we
what's
go.
happening, brother?
What's up, Timmy?
Oh, man, just taking a walk on the wild side, literally.
This is good, man. I feel like the last time that you and I spoke was at Daytona, and you and I were busy talking about our extracurricular hobbies, and we didn't talk about snakes at all.
That's right. Hang on,
So-
I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing rigged up. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It'll catch. Keeps dropping. You can hear me
So, yeah.
okay, right?
Yeah, you sound great, man. You sound
Okay.
great. So, but yeah,
So,
man.
yeah, man. How you doing?
How- I'm good. We're eagerly anticipating this. Smitty told me a couple days ago, he's like, Tim's coming on. Tim's going to come on the show. Tim's going to be in town. And obviously Smitty can't hear this, so he doesn't know that I'm making fun of him. But he's like, dude, he's gonna come over to my house. And I was like, that's pretty awesome. He's going to be on camera. He's going to be over your house. He's like, what am I going to do? I gotta make sure everything's clean. I was like, yeah, it's good. It's good.
And it's funny because he plays it so cool,
Oh, of course. He's a master. He's a master.
Yeah,
And then when he listens to this in post-production, he's gonna be like, what the fuck, Phil?
Well,
So-
I texted him a couple of days ago because I've been friends with Pete for a long time, and we just happened to talk about something completely unrelated. I had recently transferred schools from a very challenging school I was at for 26 years over to a much better school. In any
Very
case, I had to clean out my classroom that I was in for 26 years, like cleaning out a house.
That's tough.
So, but I came across some really cool old reptile artifacts, one of which was this old, I mean, this is 30 years old, poster of an albino male that Pete used as one of his main sort of advertising artifacts. It had like Maryland reptile breeders, Long Green, Maryland. So I called him. I said, dude, you never believe what I found in my classroom, because I forgot I had it. So then we got to talking, and I'm like, and I was telling him about the transfer and everything. I said, yeah, unfortunately, one of the casualties of transferring schools this year is I'm not going to be able to make Daytona, because we start back actually next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So last year when I came down, I actually missed 4 pre-service days to make the show. But because I've been at school for so long, the principal was fine with it.
Yeah,
but moving to a new school, just the optics wouldn't look good.
Sure,
Anyway,
of course.
So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go down and do my own little trip. So I decided I was going to come down, and originally it was just going to be me. And I was going to visit a buddy. I'm still going to do this on the West Coast tomorrow and Wednesday, and then travel over and see Carl Barden Thursday, then over to see Tony Nicolai and a couple other people at Jacksonville on
Nice.
Yeah, Friday through the weekend, right? So anyway, talking to Pete, I was telling him, I'm like, well, dude, I'm going down to Florida. He goes, really? He goes, man, I'd like to go. I'm like, well, I'm driving down by myself, so come on.
Nice.
So literally within 24 hours, he's working on how to get himself down here, right? So then, Pete's a great guy, but he has a tendency sometimes to be a little flaky. Sometimes he'll say he'll do something and, not go through with it.
Okay.
So as time was drawing near, I was thinking more and more, this is a likely possibility. So then I reached out to Justin. Well, before all that, I reached out to Justin because I was going to drive down to the West Coast, and I knew there was like 16 hours to get to my buddy's place down in where's he? Bonita Springs, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was thinking to myself, I was going to drive that whole way by on one day.
Yeah,
so I was trying to figure out what's a good split point. So I remember Justin telling me he was in South Carolina. So I reached out to him and said, hey, buddy, where are you at exactly? So he told me, and I told him, I said, well, I'm coming down Monday. I'll come in and, hang out and do the show with you. And then, literally like 4 or 5 days later, when Pete told me he was going to go or come down, I told him, well, now I said, I have a guest coming with me, somebody that's going to be probably more interesting to interview than I am. He's like, no way. And I'm like, you'd have no idea. I said, this guy is one of the true OG guys, right? I mean, he produced the first albino boas ever, produced the first piebalds, was at the bottom of the IBD research going on at the time back in the 90s. So hopefully he'll get in and talk about all that stuff later.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. What's funny is you took 95 straight down?
Yes.
Yeah. So I used to go, my whole family's from outside of Philly. And I mean, I spent every Saturday in South Philly my entire childhood growing up. And I used to drive up from South Florida once a year, like right before Christmas, just to, hang out with family for a week, before Christmas. And my late mentor, he lived in North Carolina. So I did the same thing you did. I would drive up, spend a night with them, talk snakes, have fun, play with some stuff, and then make the rest of the trip back.
Yeah.
So it's awesome, man. It's a good strategy, especially since you got to cross across Florida to go to Bonita. That across the state, that's a hike, man.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been on the West Coast of Florida for quite some time. So, and maybe stop off and see Cody. I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet.
Nice. Actually, I got to call Carl because he had hit me up about getting some baby Bothrops Atrox. And he's like, hey, man, would you mind bringing them before Daytona? Kind of like what we did when we met you guys last year.
Last year.
And I said, yeah, sure. So I got to find out if I'm doing that or not. I completely forgot.
Oh, that's awesome.
So.
Yeah, I'm a little sad to miss the show this year. I understand it's going to be the largest one they've ever done, which is cool to hear because that just means that, the whole industry and hobby and everything is just continuing to grow. So that's good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hey, you're down in South Florida, no?
Yeah, I'm in Boca Raton.
Okay. So you and Pete will have a little bit to share. From what I understand, you used to work for Strictly, I guess, for the Van Ostroms?
Oh, really? That's cool. So did I.
No, no, I said that's what I'm saying. You did.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh
Absolutely.
no, well, yeah, Pete knows, the Van Ostrens, Tommy Crutchfield, and he's got a great story. We'll have to make sure he brings up. Um, it was with a guy. I think it was one of Crutchfield guys. This guy named Adam.
Okay.
Something to do with an albino crocodile they sent over to Thailand. I think it was.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
have to bring that up.
Oh, it was
That's
interesting because the guy was supposed to send Pete in exchange for this. I guess one of the first albino retics.
Okay.
But then the guy apparently didn't like something about the alligator. So, but this guy was like a middleman
Okay.
for some people who apparently had ties to, I guess, the mafia over there.
Okay.
And so Pete, he'll tell the story, but he threatened to get in touch with his bosses to let them know that he was marking up stuff that he was selling to them.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All
it was
right.
great. I mean, it's the stuff that's just out of the some of the old stuff you'd read in Stolen World. Just crazy
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been starting to write down. So, in life, you come across people and you have a story with them or about them, and then you forget about them, and then you happen to stumble across them, whether it be in person or like through mutual friends or even just on Facebook. Like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Mhm.
Well, I started writing down stories from the Strictly days, and
Oh, nice.
and I mean, I got into it real late. You know what I mean? I say this gingerly, but I'm only 36, so there was a lot of stuff that happened before me.
Oh yeah.
And I started writing down these stories, and I can't wait for another 25 or 30 years or so when I can just publish it all.
Right.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah, they were the outlaw days for sure.
Oh yeah. So now your school that you're going to now, are you at liberty to say where it is and what you're doing?
Yeah, it's the same. It's in the same county. It's another middle school.
Okay.
But it's definitely one of the top. Well, it's one of the top middle schools in our county, and probably one of the top in the country. Really, it's
Nice.
It's going to be quite a bit different, and so I'm looking forward to it. I mean, 26 years at a challenging school. I love the kids I teach, but there's just so many needs, and as you get older, it's harder to deal with it day in and day out.
Yeah, man. Of course. My mom just got tenure for her. She works private school. She's a high school teacher, English, and she just got tenure. I guess it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I could see the weight that was lifted off her shoulders. So I can only imagine the level in which you've attained, and then you still have to say, it's time to move on. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, teaching at this school it's a public school, same county,
Mm-hmm.
but it's as close to teaching a private school in a public school setting as you'll get.
Nice.
So it'll
That's
be a
very
good
cool.
way to retire.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, for those of you who don't know who you are, do you want to give like a little summary synopsis of how you got into all this?
All the snake stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
I mean,
it's hard to say, like, where do you start, but
yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I mean, it went back to when I was a little kid, really. I mean, we moved to a new town called Columbia, and they had one of their big attractions. They had a lot of open space areas, like woods and creeks and all this. So we would just go combing through those places looking for. I mean, snakes were the main target, but as you know, I mean, you can go several days and not see a single one. So we learned to, to kind of appreciate and look for other things as well. But that's kind of where it really started. And then, it's just off and on. And then, I mean, in earnest, I guess, would probably be around 1990, 91. Where I met, this clown coming in. So, and for those of you out there that have young children in the audience, this might be the time to put them to bed because what's about to go down now. I brought the Tasmanian devil down here I have no control. So
Nice. It's all right. We already put the little letter E next to it, so we're good.
there you go. Right.
We're good.
Now Pete's awesome. So just to give you a little intro to him. Yeah, to do a little intro to him. So how we met. So I started getting a couple little things together through this pet shop that had pretty nice collection of reptiles for
You
pets.
killed it already.
And one of the things in a conversation with an employee there that I was talking about, I was interested in, was a Brazilian rainbow boa. And he told me, well, there you go. So he told me, well, I can get you one. And so, you know, we bought one basically, but they didn't have it.
Come on.
So several weeks went by, and get back.
Yeah, you need to choke. You need to choke up on it and get it.
Yeah. Several weeks went by, and the snake never showed up. So the guy, no, you're good. So the guy called the breeder, as he called him on the phone, and because I told him, I said, look, I'll go get it, because he told me the guy was in Maryland. So he called this guy, unbeknownst to me, was Pete Kahl, who I didn't know either at the time. So I went up there, and he was really cool. He took me into the house. We walked downstairs in his basement, and there was just hundreds of snakes. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And we're talking 1991. All right, now he's in the way. So,
For those of you who can't see this, Pete has just sat on Tim's lap and blocked him from camera.
Yeah. So he used to be a little bit lighter. So anyways, I went down.
We can trade if you want this one. You can have this one.
In the candy store, and so immediately I ran. Not like right that second, but later that day, went to a payphone, because this is before cell phones, and called my nephew Sean Stewart, and I told him, look, man, you got to get up here and see this guy's collection. This is unbelievable. So over the next couple of weeks, because I was going to school nearby where he was, where he lived, and I was telling him that we were coming up on the summer, and I was like, dude, I'll work here for free, man. I'll do anything. I'll clean shit. I'll do whatever. I'll clean glass. But man,
he was so naive back then.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, so he was so gracious, man. So he took Sean and I in, and one funny story was he had this bank of near the shea cages with this group of the rainbow boas. He had a whole bunch of rainbows in there and a whole bunch of blood pythons. And I remember he took my nephew, and we come down on weekends or whatever. He's like, Sean, why don't you go over there and clean those guys out? And Sean's like, yeah, they're pretty cool, man. I was looking at them earlier. And Sean's like, are they friend? Sean's asking Pete, he goes, are they friendly? And Pete's like, yeah, they're fine, man. They're good. Just go in there and clean them out,
Yeah.
So Sean cleaned this entire bank of blood pythons, right? And he came away unscathed. Not even one struck at him.
Wow.
And Pete's like looking at him like, are you done? Are you sure? He goes, yeah, I cleaned every one. He goes, you didn't get bit? He's like, no. He goes, motherfucker. He goes, all right, well, here, clean that one. So then he sent him over. He had this big Rubbermaid horse trowel with this 12-foot freaking Suriname red-tailed bow in it. Remember, man, that thing had a head on it that was like this big. I mean, and she was beautiful, but man, she was a beast.
She never bit me.
No, she never bit. She was big and she was strong.
She was huge. I got it from Tom Crutchfield.
Yeah.
It was fucking massive. I was like,
So you say you can move a little closer to it.
Tom sent it to me, but I missed the really big one that went to San Diego Zoo.
Oh, yeah.
But he goes, I got another one, man. It's pretty big. And it's wild caught. And I said, Shandy, do that thing.
Yeah, remember you had it in that big Rubbermaid tub, man.
Yeah, that thing was-
She
never bit me.
Yeah.
It scared me because her head was like,
Oh, their head was massive.
big.
They're strong animals. So we had some good times there. You know, I was fortunate enough to witness the first albino boas being
I got
born.
a picture.
Of
It's
being?
Kathy Schwartzman, you,
No,
me,
you do not. Well,
Craig Brenning.
so why did you?
Craig
I know
Brenning.
Craig was there.
Pete.
So why didn't you show me this picture? I don't know you have that.
Move closer to the mic. Move
Hey.
closer to the mic.
Tongue the mic, would you?
I mean, you can move the whole chair closer. Make life easier.
Get in there, huh? Don't be afraid.
Actually, I don't think that mic's working, man.
For real?
'Cause he was just on it. And it's not running.
Hello? Check.
No,
1,
there
2,
you go.
3.
There he is.
Yeah, we
Check,
can't
check.
hear each other
1,
for some
2, 3.
reason because of the way this whole interface thing works. So
So Phil is good.
So this nice guy, whatever, Tim, has got me like I'm in the fucking I'm in Savannah, basically, He goes, hey man, I'm going down there with or without you. And I talked to my old lady. I said, hey, and she was a little upset. I said, do you mind if I roll down to Florida, man? And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, Timmy has invited me to go on this road trip with him. And she was not happy. But I assured her, I said, listen, this can be nice. And she loves Timmy. So that's cool.
I'm about the only responsible friend Pete has.
That's
pretty,
good.
pretty much. Yeah, he is. And my old lady likes him. So, he's a school teacher. I mean, come on. How much trouble can I get in with a school teacher?
It is Florida, brother.
I know. It could be bad. It could go south.
So
Yeah,
Phil,
you guys gotta pass Ybor City to get to Bonita Springs.
Yeah. So Phil worked for Strictly, so you got to tell him the good old story.
yeah,
What?
I don't know any of them.
I'll say I know there's no shortage of them.
You used to tell me
Well-
about the ones where you went down there and one of the guys pulled a gun on you. Ray, I guess, had guns in his
Ray
facility.
Benastri?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That'll
Let's
happen.
just go. Let's go to the hotel shit. Let's go to the hotel shit. That was the most fun.
There you go.
All right. All right. I fly into San Diego with Craig Brenning, me, and Mark Spatero.
Right.
And, we're fucked up, man. Like, we had been boozing on the train, the plane, whatever the fuck. It was bad. We get to the hotel, and I was like, I'm just going to murder this room, man. I smashed all the lamps. I broke everything off the walls and shit. And they're like, you asshole, man. What the fuck are we going to do now? I said, shut the fuck up and follow me. So we go down the elevator, right? And I go into the lobby, right? There's tons of people checking in shit. I said, God the fuck. I said, that fucking room is trashed.
Was this like for the San Diego Super Show or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went there, did Palmetto and
Yeah.
whatever. A couple shows there, whatever. I was there for like 2 weeks. But anyway, I was like, my room's fucking trash. They said, oh, excuse me, sir. We'll give you the suite. I said, what did you say? So I'll give you the suite. I said, oh, okay. Right? So we go back up the elevator. Those two fuckers are with me, and they're like, damn, how did you pull that off? I said, look at where we are now. Now we're in the suite. It's like huge. A suite on the top fucking floor, and we're out on the deck singing San Diego. And they were like, dude, how did you do that? I said, I don't know. I don't even know how I did it. But that's fun.
Fantastic.
All right, here's another good one. So I'm at Brian Potter's show in Chicago. And we've been out drinking, having a couple drinks and shit. Come back, I pull the little lever, right? Sets the fire alarm off. And this is, not good, man. Like next thing you know, everybody's outside in towels and shit, half naked and shit. And then Potter gets this picture of some dude that was there, and he throws him out of the show. He says, he did it. And I'm like, oh, God. So I had to go to Potter. I said, listen, man, we got to talk. We got to have a little conversation here. And I tell him, I said, dude, it was me. And I said, you can't throw that dude out of the show. I felt so bad, right? This guy tossed him from the show. I said, it was me. And Potter goes, it was? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, God, damn it, man. So he goes and calls the dude. The guy comes back to the show. And the guys, him and I have a conversation. The guy's like, oh, fucker, man. Like, I said, I saved you. You're back in the show. Everything's okay, right? God, man. Wayne Hill, going down to Expo in Florida, man. Wayne and I were great friends. I was down there last year, man. I went through his suite at midnight when I got down there. Great guy, but I used to trash the rooms there and stuff like a rock star, like a stupid. But Wayne loved me. I don't know why. Like, we got along really well. I don't understand. He's like, he'd meet me. We go to the pig place there by the convention center.
Yeah.
Right. And, yeah, dude, we go there. And Wayne was always like, he called us dudes, man, on Thursday. Because I said, I got a lot of stuff, man. So he'd let me in there. Like one other dude's in there. He'd let me in there. I'd set my stuff up, go back to the room, whatever, or go out with Wayne for a little while. But he was always so nice to me. I fucking love Wayne Hill. I mean, if some people don't like him, I guess, whatever. He was just one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. And such a reptile enthusiast, just like Eugene Bissett.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All the Floridians, Tom Crutchfield, Michael Cole. I was talking to Michael Cole
Bells.
just like 2 nights. Yeah, the Bells, man. Mark and Kim Bell. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Tell these guys about the origin of the albino project. Always.
Oh,
Come on, man. You guys went out on a limb.
all right.
You and
whatever.
Smiley. I know Smiley did all the work because you're too damn dumb, but
Sure. All right, I'm producing Burmese pythons back in the day. And I'm selling 100 lots to this guy, John Ruiz in California. And one day we're talking, I sent him a couple hundred, Burms, just normal Burmese pythons. And he says, hey, man, he goes, I got the only albino boas in the world. Me, that was John Ruiz, and Ernie Wagner and Steve Osborne. And I said, you do not. He goes, I do. I have 3.1. I said, show me a male. Why don't you show me a male? He goes, let me talk to them guys. I'll call you back. He calls me back like, a couple hours later, and he goes, 25 grand. I said, done. I said, but I want to choose from all 3 males, right? So I get there. He's only got 2 males. One's got a swollen hemipene, and one of them I'm hit with a flashlight in his eyes, and they're not even dilated or anything. I said, that's blind, and that's got a swollen dick. Where's the other one? He goes, I got to go all the way up to Ernie's up north and get it. I said, Mike, grab that satchel. Mike McAdam, a buddy of mine, lent me the money, and he had a satchel.
all the cash.
I said, take the satchel in the car. We're out of here. And then John comes running out, man. He goes, wait a minute. I'll go. I said, good. We're going to go to, we went out to, Sunset Boulevard, man. Got a hotel room, smashed beer bottles over our heads and everything. Like carried on like wild hooligans, and then went back the next day. And he had the other one. And I said, I'll take that one. And it wasn't the prettiest one. And I had that scar. Remember, I called it scar back. But yeah, man, we got it. I shipped it back to Tracy Barker, lived in Maryland at the time. And she goes, you're nuts. Like, you ship it to me. You don't even call me to find out if the thing got home safe. I said, no, I was on fucking Sunset Boulevard, man. I was getting tattoos and shit. And the guy that did Ozzy's chest thing, man, we were hanging out with him. And she was like, you idiot, man. I was like, well, how's he doing? She said, he's fine. I said, good, I'll be home shortly. And then bred him. Yeah.
And then bred it.
I was out of control. Look, I'm still out of control. I'm 58 now. But back then, man, I was really out of control. Ask him. Tell him what I used to do to you.
Yeah, we'll get into that later if we have time. We will. All right, so let's move on
Get in the car.
So the pies.
Get in the car.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
No, we're going to get to it right now.
No, hang on. Before we get to the pies. So things are going well. You were breeding the albinos.
Right.
Starting to put them together with some double genetic striped albinos.
Yeah, you're right.
Now,
striped
when
ones.
did
Yeah.
IBD start to come into the picture? Because I tell
Dude,
people,
my albino males were 18 months old. I put them in a tub together, right? And literally 2 weeks before I was in Ohio with Mark Bell and Kim Bell and stuff. We did the Ohio show. And Mark goes, dude, there's this virus out. I said, what virus, man? He says, dude, they rotate their head, inclusion body disease. I said, what the fuck is that? Well, I went home. A week later, I have these males in a tub. And one of them started doing that, rotate the head. I said, uh-oh.
But I tell people all the time, one of the things among many things I've always been impressed with you was how you dealt with that at a time when these snakes were extremely valuable. You know what I mean? I mean, you sacrificed a lot of animals. You sort of, I don't know if you met Elliot Jacobson through this,
My goodness.
but you sent him, I know, a ton of animals, tissues. And I remember you were like, dude, I'm not selling another fucking animal till I get to the bottom of this, which, in today's world with nidovirus and everything else, you get people who were knowingly passing along animals that were either exposed or had it.
So I was going to, I think it was Florida, to the expo.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was honest about everything, but people were calling up Wayne and saying, we don't want him here. We don't want him here. Get out. And
they were saying that about you.
Eugene Bissett, man, said, I want to be right next to him. And I was like, he supported me. So, I mean, what a cool dude, man.
Yeah, Eugene's awesome.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, you were above board with that from the get-go. I mean, you could have tried to brush it under the rug, but you didn't. You sacrificed a lot of animals. No, I'm good. Shut up. Don't make me come over there.
That's awesome.
So you sent a lot of stuff to to Jacobson, right?
Jacobs is awesome, man.
Yeah.
I got one of his Texans.
Yes.
We had, so we formed a research foundation for IBD, right?
That's
so
right.
I went down to Florida with, it was at Eugene's house, and Mark Bell was there, and me, and Gino was with me, and Elliot was there, right? And we formed the Reptile Research Foundation.
Yep.
Like to try to figure this out. Like, what is this, man? And how do you deal with it? Scott Stahl was a member of that whole organization going, forward. But yeah, it was a really hard time, man. Like, that was crazy.
Oh, it was really hard. That was my first experience with sort of what do they call that? Like
retrovirus.
Retrovirus, but also they call it like a collection pathogen, right? So, because you were pretty bummed, man. I mean,
I was devastated.
There are a lot of,
well, it's even scarier when you don't have answers like that. You don't know what's going on.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So I listened to Elliot, right? He said, go with most likely infected, right? To least infected. So I boarded off my garage. I put carpet in there, and I moved like the least infected ones in my garage. I had a bedroom in the back, 3-bedroom house, right? I put a bunch of maybe infected ones there, and then I had the ones that were most likely infected in the basement. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. But it worked out, man. And I never sold anything that was bad. I don't know. It went okay, but it was like really I was like, no way, man. Like, I'm on this, planet right now. And the albino boas, I mean, it was excellent. And then I was like, oh my God, this virus came in, and I was like scared to death. So
Did Did they ever track where it actually started? Like, was it initially a boa thing or no?
Yes, it is a boa thing. It's more with boas. Okay, so here's the deal though. Mites are a vector.
Mhm.
So I had retics in my basement and I got mites. And the mites went from the boas to the retics, and the retics died. Like, I mean, they died like quick. And I was like, damn. So it's definitely a more prolific in boa constrictors than it is in pythons. And I had ball pythons, right? The mites got on them. My ball pythons never got sick. Never. I mean, I never had any ball python with the IBD. I just boas. So yeah, it was kind of scary, but you learn.
Yeah, it's interesting that it would mess up the retics but not touch the balls. Like that's you think boa to python is one thing, but
right. Never had a ball python with IBD ever, and they were all in the same room, man. You know, never affected them, but it killed the retics, like killed them. I was like, damn. I had 6 nice retics, and they were dead, and I was like, wow, this is not good.
Now, do you hear of anybody? Look, it seems to have died off for the most part. Is there anybody that you know of that is still dealing with this, or is it still around?
I don't think it's that much around, man. Like, so Scott Stahl and I had a conversation after Elliot and being down at the University of Gainesville and everything. I had a talk with Scott, and Scott said, listen, survival of the fittest. They'll get immunity, right? So he goes, if anything's not right, if the animal's not doing right or whatever, euthanize it and just raise the new blood, right? So I followed Scott, and he was right. So it never was like a big deal. Like, it came around every now and then. I'd have an animal that might flip its head around instantly in the freezer. So I don't know, kind of walked out of it, I guess, you know, over time.
I also think that there was a time, maybe a decade or so ago, where, you know how, especially with the internet blossoming more and more, there was a lot of people doing a lot of Googling, and like IBD would come up. And all of a sudden it's like, oh no, my snake has a twitch in its neck. It must be IBD, and it's not.
Or if they're staring up, like I'd have a boa that was
stargazing.
Go up and look up at the stars, man. But that's not stargazing. Like when you pick an animal up and it flips around,
like it can't right itself.
Completely out of control. That's IBD. But the staring thing, I still have boas.
Maybe they just like looking up, man.
And they stare up. But they're like, if you pick them up and they have no motor function, that's IBD.
Yeah. I remember we used to ask, like when we worked in the pet shops, people would say, I think my snake has IBD. Like, well, is it acting like Stevie Wonder? And they would be like, yeah, it is. And be like, all right, well, you might want to bring it to a vet.
Yeah.
Now, did you with
that can't do? I mean,
ball pythons and stuff though? Were you seeing signs of anything like Nido or Serpentovirus related with ball pythons before it was known to be, like with Nido and stuff in ball pythons? Did you see that before we knew that it was like Nido?
Virus was originally documented in ball python stuff.
I never saw any of that in ball pythons.
Well, this was more like the clinical signs are more like a respiratory that just keeps coming back and doesn't respond.
One side off.
Well,
yeah,
that's fine. I forgot this, but I remember there was like this little rivalry that developed between you and Brian Sharp.
No rivalry. No.
I'm not saying
him and I were best fucking buddies, man.
Don't listen to him.
Listen.
No, don't make it an issue. What I'm asking, the point of my question is, tell us about the origins of the so-called shark strain. Was it the tyranny? Was it what did they call it?
No.
T negative?
No.
All right. Tell them about the shark strain.
All right.
No.
So.
Did I say what? Shut up.
I'm talking to Mike Eller.
Hold on, man. Did I say I was done?
And Mike Eller had that female right?
Who's Mike Ellard?
Trying to
Nobody
invest.
knows who
Mike Ellard from down in Florida, man.
Well, I might know.
Escrow, Florida.
Okay.
Great dude. And he imported from South America all the time.
Okay.
Well, he had this female albino boa, and I said, I'd like to get that. He goes, I'll sell it to you. But I didn't feel comfortable. So I sort of contacted people in South America. I found the dude, and I called him up, and I said, look, I'll buy that. Right? Well, he calls Ellard up. He said, your buddy's trying to buy it out from under you. Ellard calls me up, and he goes, listen, you cocksucker. He goes, I'm selling it to Brian Short. I said, you motherfucker. He goes, yeah, I'm selling it to Brian, fuck you. And I said, I guess I get that, man. I should have called your boys down there. So he sold it to Brian.
Do you know what he sold it to?
Brian breeds it to a male het that he got from me.
That's right.
To the female, right? And he calls me up. Brian calls me up one morning, man. It's like 8:00. He goes, motherfucker, I bred that fucking male of yours to this female.
It's not a het.
And he goes, they're all normal looking. I said, oh shit. I'm like, dude, that's a different allele. I said, they're not compatible. And Brian was like, yeah. I'm sorry.
You know what he paid for that female?
25.
Was it 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the magic number back then.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Well, it was because even the pies were.
I
right?
remember calling Tracy Barker, like I found the pie balls to be genetic. And I called Tracy up and I said, what do you think I should charge for these? And she said, I think 15 for a female and 25 for a male. I said, that sounds great. That's good. Okay.
So tell them about the origin of the pies. Because I remember you were buying them all up before they.
Well,
I mean, you were the first to figure out it was a simple genetic recessive trait.
All right. So Tracy Barker had these two female pies from Noah in Africa, but they were on breeding loan with her.
And hang on, Noah
and
was
Noah
like,
called me up and he said, dude, I got to build this fence. I got to do this and that for the African government,
but Noah was the big
money.
Exporter at the time of all the balls, right? Okay.
And so he said, look, you want the two females that are at Tracy's? I said, I do, but I said, you got to give her first right of refusal, man. I said, I can't do that to Tracy. She's a friend of mine. So he calls her up and she's already got them, right, in Texas. And she's like, no, we're not sending you any money. If you want to sell them, sell them. So he calls me back and he goes, do you want them? I said, where do I wire the money? Wow. And I bought them. And then I had to look, a buddy of mine worked for U.S. Airways, man. He was a mechanic for the planes, right? And he gets free tickets. So we get tickets and I got to go get them in Texas. So we get all liquored up on the plane, man. And I'm sitting outside the airport and Tracy pulls up. We get in the car and we're wasted. And she's like, oh, shit. And we go back to her house. And then she was crying, man, when I put them in the bag. We stayed there for like 3 days, actually. But yeah. And then I had those two. And I was like, I need a male. So the only motherfucker on the planet, and I had bought like 4 females out of Europe.
Yeah.
But the only one on the planet that had a male was Brian Sharp. And he was my buddy. I called him up. I said, I want to buy the male. And he goes, let's do a breeding loan. I said, no, I don't want to do it. I said, I got 2. He's been trying to breed this male for 7 years, right? Sure. I got 2, like 1,000-gram female albinos and a male. I said, I'll trade you them for the pie. And he's quiet. And then he goes, all right, I'll do it. So I went down like an hour and a half from my house, drove down there, picked up the male, and he bred one of the females from Noah. And then Mark and I went out. It was like day 47 or something, right? I'm waiting for him to hatch. And Mark and I go down to Bill Bateman's and we start doing shots of Jaeger. And I'm like, dude, let's go cut an egg. I can't take it anymore. I can't take this shit any longer. I got a building, 10,000 square foot building, halfway out of the ground. My neighbors are now fighting me on this building. And I was like, my attorney's like, you got to get the building done. So we drank, and then I said, either we're coming back to party or we're coming back to drown our sorrows. We're going home and cut an egg. And we went home and we cut the egg, man. It was
That's
a
right.
pie, man. I was like,
Because at the time they weren't
God,
sure if it was simple genetic. Yeah.
And we went back and bought the whole bar drinks
I've
for like hours.
been part of those parties, man. They're fun.
That's epic.
But dude, you were around too. This is another high interest topic that's aside from the albino stuff. But you were around when Dave and Tracy had the first Bolins that
Yeah,
had.
so okay.
Tell them about that.
Yeah.
When was this? This was early 90s
Yeah.
or late 80s.
Yeah. So Tracy
I gotta hit-
sent me down to
make
Tom
sure-
Crutchfield's, right? Sent me down there to pick out all these Bolins pythons. And I went down there with a buddy of mine, Gino. We got fucked up, had fun, partied. We're in Tommy's neck of the woods, man, in Bushnell, Florida. And anyway, we bring these animals back. Well, one of them ends up being gravid. And Tracy was like, she's like, you got like it's mouth, they got that stomatitis or whatever.
Mhm.
Right. Like its fucking head blew up like a balloon, man. They
Yeah.
would all do that. Almost all of them that came out of the wild. So we're going over every day. They were cleaning the mouth out.
Debridement
man. We're
and stuff
trying
that.
to- And the eggs are in it. Like I would hold it up, man. Eggs. I said, we got to hatch these things,
Mhm.
you know? So we kept this thing alive. It dropped the eggs and then died. And so Tracy had just moved from New York, I think, to Baltimore at that time, like a half an hour from me. And I had an incubator. She didn't have one. So I had a refrigerator with a Honeywell thermostat on the side, and we put them in there. And she would come over every day, man, and like she did it her way. She did peat moss, sphagnum moss, and then she had 4 water bowls in there, right? And she kept them dry but wet,
Mhm.
right? And every day we go over there, and Tracy would stand in front of the refrigerator, and we had a beer bottle with a candle stuck in it. And Tracy would like light the candle, and we pray to the snake gods, and then Tracy would talk about, and we hatched. It was I think 19 eggs. We hatched 18 out of 19.
Wow.
Now the one that was fully developed, right?
Mhm.
So you got to picture this, man. I'm in my townhouse, and we're in the basement, and I had a snake room, and I have a washer and dryer down there. Well, Tracy's got the one that didn't make it, and she's doing CPR on the son of a bitch, and she's blowing its mouth for like 10 minutes, and me and Dave are just looking at each other. You know, we took all these cool pictures and everything, but Tracy was like, I got this, you know, and she's hitting the heart, and she's blowing its mouth, and it's like 10 minutes, and I'm looking at Dave, I'm going, the fucking thing's dead. And she gave me a pair for hatching them,
That's
and I
awesome.
saw them to Paul Miles for 30 grand.
Wow.
And you guys know who Paul Miles is?
Oh,
I
boy.
don't.
Well, Pete and Paul used to be the Maryland Reptile breeders. They went it together, right, on the albino boa. They were actually physically neighbors. And Paul went on to create the boa barn
Yeah.
Okay.
after Pete went out on his own, PK Reptiles or Pete Kahl Reptiles. So,
Dude, we didn't get along for like. So when we split up, man, it was terrible. So like, he's right next door to me, man. Listen, I'm on my lawnmower, man, and I'm fucking buzzing up this way. He's coming down this way. I'm like, fuck you, man. So this went on for 7 years, man. So one day I'm swimming around in my pool out back, right? And Marvin comes over and he goes, Paul wants to meet you in the pines. So I had these pine trees that separated him from me, right? And so I go down there, man. I said, yeah, I'll talk.
It's like the DMZ in North and South Korea.
He's in the pine trees, listen. And I go in there and I'm like, what's up, Oliver? And he's like, can we end this shit? I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's end it. You know, I love you. And I hugged him, man, and everything. And then from then on, it was good, man. But yeah, it was a little stretch there.
yeah. One time I was working for Pete and it's fun working for Pete because at the end of the day, we're usually going out somewhere.
Tell him about that.
I will. I'm getting there now. We're rolling into it.
All right.
So, well, this is start with a Paul Miles story. So, Pete and I are out one night and getting crazy. And Pete owns, well, it was like an Eddie Bauer Bronco.
Yeah.
And dude, he was trashed. So we come home, we pull into his driveway, and I'm like, wonder what Smiley's doing. That's what we used to call him, Smiley. And he goes, I don't know. Let's go find out. So, dude, he drives around his pool into his backyard, then goes down into Paul Miles' backyard, starts doing donuts in the backyard. It's like
raining
at 2:30 in the morning. And I mean, he is turfing up the yard like
tore it up.
And what
He took me to fucking court, man.
He did.
The motherfucker took me to court, man. I love him. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
the
anything.
motherfucker took him to court
Took me to
because
court,
he
right?
turfed up his yard.
And look, my father was Baltimore County
The nerve.
executive, man.
Yeah.
Like I know all the judges and everything. So I go to court, and they're like, you know, he's not guilty, and they slam the hammer down. I look over Paul, like give him the finger. I own this place, man. I
tortured the poor
couldn't
guy.
get in trouble.
Dude, tell these guys about the croc monitor that got loose and was crawling up the screened enclosure of your neighbors.
So I got this buddy, Mike Perry, and he would come over and help me with the snakes, right? We grew up together. Fucking wop. Nice guy, you know, big dude. Anyway, he fucking, so the croc monitors were in need of shade cages. They were down by the window. So he opened, you know, one of the croc monitors cages, and you know, of course, there's all the mulch in the water bowl. So he opens the screen, he dumps the mulch out, he fills the water bowl up. But then I had those little locks that you would put down on the cage and turn it, and it would lock so they couldn't slide the windows. Well, he didn't put that on. Fucking idiot. Anyway, this croc monitor slides the fucking door open, and it just splits. Dude, he climbed, and he left the fucking screen open, right? So the croc monitor just goes out of the fucking house.
He was gone for a few days.
So
Jesus.
So right now I'm fighting with my neighbors on my snake building, right? Tim Hohen did the Reptile Research Foundation, whatever.
Well, he also did the Mid-Atlantic Reptile Show. He was
Yeah.
the guy who
Okay.
put that together.
Mm-hmm.
So Tim calls me up. He goes, "Hey, man, because I got this croc monitor today." I said, "You did?" I said, "Where'd you get it?" He goes, "Up in Moncton, like 4 miles from my house." I said, "You did?" I said, "You're not going to say anything about that, are you?" He goes, "Well, I was thinking you could donate it to the Costa Rican rainforest." I said, "You know, if it was my croc monitor, I would donate it." And he goes, "Well, okay." You know, like, dude, I was like, please don't say a word about this. But it was hanging on some lady's back porch.
Is it like an adult? Like,
man.
Like a full grown?
And I was like, well, I don't know anything about that, Tim, where that came from or anything. But if it was me,
If it were mine.
I would donate that to your foundation to buy Costa Rican rainforest, man. And he goes, "That's all I need to hear." Sorry, take it easy, Tim. Never saw this again.
How big
At
was
least
it?
it wasn't a total loss.
It was 6 feet,
About that, yeah, with the
so
tail.
it's close to full grown.
That's epic.
Oh my god!
That thing moved like 4 miles?
Oh, there's so many stories.
I guess. Yeah.
I think I was like out of my mind. I was
Still out of
having too
your
much
mind.
fun. Like doing something you love, right? And making money at the same time. I mean, it was just, I don't know, man. I was in heaven. I was like, what just happened? Like all that shit, man.
Yeah. So when the albinos were born and the money was really flowing in, Pete made a significant investment with Ted Nia
Mhm.
Cages,
Awesome.
and literally had a semi trailer back down his driveway full of cages. Because remember, you told me at the time, because I was in the chondros, he was like, "Hey, man,
Dude, we had that party. Ted,
yeah."
Ted said, "Listen, I got all these
Can I
cages
get
from
that?
Ted."
Shut up for a second. I'm telling a story.
I'll tell the story. I can tell it better than you.
I'll tell you when to jump in here. Shut up. So,
I gotta spend fucking
dude, the way we
like
talk
7
to each
days
other
with
has
this
been
guy.
going on for years. Oh my God, we could go on all night. Anyway, so anyway, he was telling me at the time that Nia Deshay was coming out with this 2x2 cube,
Mhm.
which became infamous, eventually. And he was like, "Do you want any?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to have some." He goes, "Well, give me some damn money, man, because they're coming in on a semi. Shipping will be free." And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So some of these 2x2s were on that same shipment, but dude, it was a gigantic semi. And then Ted went, because the order was so big, catered this huge spread.
Dude, he spent like $4,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And look,
On this
Crutchfield
catered
was
spread.
there. Philippe de Beausoleil.
Yes.
So it was at the same time Tim Home was having the show
Yes.
in Timonium. And I went around with these little things with my address and everything. And everybody came back to the house. And my mother was fucked up, man. And she's like, "I heard about you, Tom Crutchfield." She's down the bottom of the steps and Tommy's up at the top of the steps. "I heard about you, motherfucker." And Tom was just like, "Get the fuck out of here." I said, "Yeah, she's a little lit." God, that party was excellent.
That was crazy.
Hey, here's another good Ted Pikes. Okay, Nita Shaped Plastics. Love him.
So the owner's name is Ted Pites.
So we're down in Daytona, and we ran out of beer. Very sad situation. And Ted goes, "I got beer in the room." I said, "Well, your old lady's in the room, man." He goes, "Fuck her." Dude, we go, he opens the door, man. Immediately she starts cussing. And all I can hear, he grabs a trash can, and I hear ice cubes going in the trash can, and I hear beer bottles going in with the ice, right? And then she's still cussing, man. And then we split. It's 3:00 in the morning. We're going through the lobby. Ted's carrying this thing. Ice is going everywhere and shit. And we're in the lobby, and people are like, "What the hell is going on?" These guys, man. We just went out partying. We're out by the beach. Whatever. The pool. Ted's crazy.
Yeah.
I talked to him recently.
And so for those of you who don't know, Nia Deshay Plastics originally, their origin was making the ABS bed liners for
Yeah.
pickup trucks and stuff. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That makes
Yeah.
This is the same
Yeah.
material, isn't it?
Well,
I didn't notice that.
His dad was doing cages for like Phil Haas.
Right.
Like the
Mhm.
slant
The slant
fronts.
fronts,
Yeah. Back in the day. And Ted just took that to another level. And then when I hooked up with Ted, he was like, "Well, how do we design these, man?" I said, "Well, let's do 18 inches high, whatever, straight fronts and everything."
Well, you
And
helped
Ted
them
was
do
like,
the
"All
long,
right,
the
we're
4 and
going to
6
place
foot
an order." I
cages.
said, "Sure. Let's get it done." Oh, they were nice cages.
Well, because he told you had to do a certain number because they had to make a certain amount to cover
Right,
their
because the
costs for
mold and stuff, I'm
molds
sure,
and
was
all, right?
expensive. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I love those cages. I mean, I've had a few, hand-me-downs and stuff over the years with the slanted fronts, and that's what I kept venomous in when I was keeping venomous. And there's really, like, when it comes to keeping venomous, like, those are like the first thing I want is those, just the single pane front openers, because it's like the perfect design for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like everybody who starts out with venomous needs to work with them because there's so many good points and then a lot of bad ones too. So actually, it's funny you mentioned those 2x2s because the first one of those I ever had, I wound up having a loony green mamba in there, and I was at Strictly at the time, and I had to ship it out, and I was like, you
You
what?
work with Strictly?
He did.
I
Yeah,
did,
he did. I told you that.
You
Yeah.
work with fucking Fat Mike?
Of course,
Oh, I give him shit all the time, man.
of course.
I love him. That Big Ray, Little Ray.
Oh yeah.
And what's her name that worked in the office, man? She was cool.
Who, Jeannie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love her.
of course. You heard about Mark Lucas passing, right?
Who?
Mark Lucas.
No, I did not.
Yeah, he passed early this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember, what's his name? The fucking big dude, man, that worked there. Oh, God, man.
The tall,
Had a
skinny
gun
guy.
on. Not really skinny, man. Big dude. Dude, he used to party with, what's his name, had cancer up in New York.
Mm.
Damn, what is his name?
Oh, I know who you're talking
Talk about
about.
dark-skinned Puerto Rican guy.
No.
Okay.
Give me a second. God, man. B.
Well, while you're thinking about that, tell these guys about the albino crocodile story. And the guy was Adam from Crutchfield. We were talking about that on the way down. Starting first with the fact you had to drive to Florida to get it.
There's a seam. You just on the foot on the band itself there, or you can slide it off.
All right, I'm gonna try it.
Don't be afraid.
Ow. Oh,
There you go.
all right. So there's this. What's his name, man? I'm from Taiwan.
Don't worry about the name. Just there's a guy in Taiwan.
Yeah. So he's got an albino retic
Retic,
of true AML.
like one of the first.
Yeah. And so he wanted, he wouldn't take cash. I was just trying to pay him cash to get it.
And we're
And he
talking
goes, no,
like
I want
90, 95, 96, 1995, 96.
He said, I want a leucistic alligator. I said, all right, let me see what I can do. So I called Tommy up, and he goes, well, I sold the one that had no lower jaw, but it could snack on. Like cookies. I mean, it was fine, healthy, nice animal. So I get Adam. I pick him up. He had left Tommy. He was working for Alligator Ventures in the Carolinas. And me and Gino pick him up. And we go to this dude Posey's place down in Florida. We get there, like, it's late, man. It's all go down this driveway. It's freaky, man. Like, you know, I'm like, we could get killed, like, out here. And Posey's got this big pot belly and shit. And he's counting the loot. And I buy this thing for $50,000. And then I sent it to the dude in
Taiwan.
in Indonesia, whatever. And he's seen pictures. He knew the jaw was gone, the bottom jaw. There was a mute. So Crutchfield had sold it to Posey for $10,000, and I paid $50,000. But I know Adam scooped on that because Adam goes, "I got to go back in there." And Adam came out with swollen pocket, and me and Gino were like, "Dude, you sold that for more," you know, ragging on him. But anyway, get the alligator. I take it down to, we go from Posey's place in Florida and we go down to Mike at Strictly. And Mike's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot, dude. He goes, you're going to get ripped off. I said, fuck you, man. Just do the fucking health certificate. Get this thing over to this guy and I'll get the retake. And Mike's like, you stupid fucker. And I'm like, shut up, you fat fucker. You know, back and forth, right? So he does it. He gets the thing shipped for me. So the dude calls me and goes, Pete, yeah, me not like alligator. I not send you a retake. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, fuck you, man. I said, I did my part of the deal, you son of a bitch. And he's like, fuck you. And he hangs up on me. And I'm like, fuck. So I call Adam up, who's Tom's manager at the time. And Adam goes, dude, that guy works for a dude that's in the Chinese mafia. And he's been getting Tommy, like they would say, you know, it's $20,000 for the shipment. So they would put $5,000. The dude would send 20, right? The dude in the Chinese mafia would send 20, and then they would send $5,000 to this guy, and then $15,000 would go towards the animals, right? So Adam goes, look, tell him you got the wire transfer information and that this dude's going to kill him, his boss. So I said, all right, that's excellent. All right, I got it. So I call him up and I go, hey, man. I said, you're going to send me that retake? And he goes, no, I'm not. I said, well, you know, I hear your boss is in the Chinese mafia, right? And he's like, what does that mean? And I was like, listen, I got all the information, and I didn't. But Adam was like saying that he had right. So I just tell him, look, man, I'm going to send him this. You've been fucking him for years. I said, he's going to kill you. You're a dead man walking, motherfucker. I should send me my retake, and I hung the phone up. Well, my phone rang. It's like early in the morning when this happened with Kathy.
Yeah.
And he kept calling me up. You can't do that to me. I said, oh, I can, motherfucker. Click. and the guy, the last conversation was, all right, I'm sending the retic. I said, I know you are. I know you're sending it, motherfucker.
That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. I love it.
Tall tales, man. I mean,
So wait, he knew the alligator was missing the bottom half of its jaw, but he still complained
I
anyways?
sent him, look, I measured them. I had tape measures. I sent him all the pictures, and he was cool. He was like, all right, yeah, I just want it for exhibit. You know, I need it for exhibit. All right, motherfucker, I'll send it. And then he goes, me not like alligator. What do you mean you don't like it? You dick. And then Adam came to the savior, man. Adam said, look, man, he's been ripping his boss off for years. I said, oh, now we got something.
well, leverage.
Yeah.
And I mean, was the retic?
I'm sorry?
Was the retic fine? Like normal? No
yeah,
issues there?
beautiful.
Yeah.
It was 6 feet long when I got it. I raised her up,
Mm-hmm.
I bred her, and then I sent her and all the fucking babies to Albaldago, man. I said, I want to give these things.
Is that the female that we drug out with George in the
Yeah.
trash can?
Yeah,
Out in the middle of the field? Yeah, remember that? Man, that thing
That
changed
thing's mean as
personality in a hurry.
It was mean as shit.
That's awesome.
So,
It's a big snake, man. Like
So-
when the last pictures I saw of her from Albaldago was she was 23 feet long,
Whoa.
and his wife, she was very good with the retics, man. Al's wife could hold that thing and it would not fuck with her at all. If Al tried to pull it out, it would fucking bite him in the face if it could. I mean, it hated him, but she could like handle it, no problem.
The magic touch.
yeah.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Woman's intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, Pete, tell them a little bit about another funny story is, boa constrictors, Colombians are typically, you can tame them down. Pete started getting these, what was it, the striped albinos.
line, too.
And they were all evil. And you had one you named Evil.
They were.
And George was talking about how
George got.
it bit and he was crying.
Dude, I had the
like
biggest boa litter from her. It was 78 fucking babies.
Wow.
78.
God.
And I called her hateful bitch because she was so fucking mean. So I'm in my fucking office, right? I bought this warehouse. Well, not bought it, but I was renting this warehouse. When I got thrown off Manor Road, and then before I moved onto my ranch, and I hear him screaming, man. I'm like, oh no. So I run back there and I'm like, it's got to be a bitch. Sure enough, he had gone in to get the water bowl, man.
Yeah.
And this thing latched on him and wrapped him up. And it was about, like 13 feet.
I was gonna say for that many babies, it had to be huge.
It was huge for a boa. And it had him wrapped.
Oh.
And he was crying like a bitch. And he's
And
an
this
arm wrestler. Dude, this guy's a
tough
bad
guy,
dude, man.
He was a tough
And
guy.
he was like on the ground. And I was kicking his fucking head. I was like, George's like, don't kill him. I'm like, fuck him. Fucking motherfucker. Poor George, man. Like, this thing had all of him. He would bleed all over the fucking place. I said, God.
Start doing the De Niro two-step on.
And my old lady was there. She's like, you're going to kill it. I said, fuck him. Fuck him. Motherfucker.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It was fine. The snake was fine, but George was fucked up, man.
But all the babies from that line were
And then he had to go, look, he's a plumber. So the next fucking day, he's got to go with the jackhammer all fucking day. He calls me at the end of the day. He goes, my fucking God. I'm like, how you doing? He said, not so good. I've been on the jackhammer all day, like I told you. And I was like, oh, my God, man. And his hand was so swollen and fucked up when he left my shop.
Jesus.
oh man.
Did you ever do much with the locality boas at all? Like any of the
I
Nicaraguan
did a little
stuff
bit,
or anything like that?
Nicks and-
Yeah.
I bought
We had Argentine.
Tom Burke's whole collection.
Did you?
For $100,000.
Oh, okay. I was
He
wondering
came
because
over to my house and he was like, we talked, and he said, I'll bring them down, man. You want to buy it? I said, I'll buy the whole crew. Fuck it.
He was the guy that I always associated with
They were
Nicaraguan
$5,000 a piece
stuff.
of babies. I
Yeah.
get them.
Yeah.
They fucking dropped down to $500, man. I was like, damn it.
What about tigers?
Tiger retics?
No, tiger boas. Wasn't that a thing a long time ago? And it kind of just dried up.
Tiger boa is.
I never.
I haven't heard of that.
No.
Yeah, there was a thing. I had an old guy I used to work with who did a bunch of boa stuff, and I guess he was telling a story of, I guess in the mid to late 90s there was this whole thing about tiger boas, and there was like 4 or 5 clutch or litters put out, and because everyone was going albino crazy and ball python crazy, nobody gave a shit, so they just gave the snakes away and nothing ever came of it.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
I don't even remember.
Huh.
Yeah, everybody was into, morphs. Morph. Now I look back, man. I like Suriname.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
Well, you don't even see Bolivians anymore.
I said to you, man, earlier. I said, man, one of my favorite snakes I had back in the day was a Trans-Pecos rat snake. Because I got one right here.
Yep, I pulled out my Wild Rose Pass. I was like, here you go.
Get out of here,
That's
man.
it.
Yeah, dude. I love all snakes, but the morph stuff is like more hyped up, I think, over the years. Now I'm kind of just a typical animal.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys are starting to kind of go back to the just wild type,
I agree.
There's just, even the locality stuff, like carpets in particular, like IJs and are getting really popular and just taking off. Yeah, he was playing with rhinos and everything.
So you and Ralph became, the big ball python guys, and Ralph got his balls from helping redo your house and also with the building.
Redid my whole house.
Right. But talk to these. But you were talking about the morphs. But you and Ralph literally would be working to stay
It's
ahead.
a torch. It's not a soft flame. It's
You guys. You guys would be working on morphs and things that nobody even knew about until you had enough that you could then release some.
You can keep it on the pizza box there.
Right.
It's fine. I got one over here, so we're good.
Right. With all the different ball python morphs.
Yeah. Ralph was a bad motherfucker. Man.
Well, no, I remember he had a bunch of stuff nobody even knew about.
He was a very sharp fucking businessman back then.
I mean, he wouldn't even share things with you.
No.
I remember this was probably 2004, 5 or 6. Dude, he was going around the show before it opened, telling people what they could and could not sell their ball python morphs for.
Really?
Like he was.
That didn't work out too well for him.
Well, no, but he told him, he said, if you don't raise the price on this, I'm not selling you
We were
anything.
talking about that earlier, the hurricane, right? So I drive into a hurricane to go to the Daytona show.
This is 2004, Charlie.
My wife Amy was with me, and a couple.
That was the year the show got hit, right?
Yes.
And it was all blacked out, and everyone was sitting in the hallways, all hot.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So Ralph and I are outside, man. There's an interview. If you go on Facebook, man, pull up Ralph Davis and Peter Kahl. So he's interviewing me, and I'm going, my wife's gonna kill me for this. But Ralph and I were like running across the street and touch this dumpster, and then run back. Dude, roofs are flying off buildings and shit. Dude, and my wife is so mad at me.
That's a hobby in Florida.
And I'm like, fuck you, I got life insurance. Don't worry about it. And back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then this dude comes out, and the windows started blowing out of the hotel. I said, oh, shit. And this guy's like, get in the fucking hotel, you assholes.
You're going to get us sued.
I was like, all right, I'm out of here. This is getting really serious out here. Oh, my God.
Classic Florida.
Yep.
I love Florida. I can't wait to get down there tomorrow.
It's another world.
Jimmy's got us a nice place on the beach.
Yeah, we got that coming.
Yeah.
So back when Sean and I used to volunteer for Pete, he was too cheap to give us anything out of the albino project, so he was giving us albino berms for working for him, which was nice because, I mean, he didn't have to give us anything because we told him we work for free, But he felt bad because we really came in and busted ass, and And, for anybody to walk in off the street and say, hey, look, we'll work for you, anybody would, look at you like, what's their angle?
Right.
What are they
Right.
looking for? Right.
Yeah, what's the catch?
Right. But he
There
knew
was
I
no
was,
catch.
well, he knew I was at Towson, studying to be a teacher, and Sean at the time was studying to be a doctor. And so whenever we'd knock off in the afternoon, Pete's like, man, I want to go out and get something to eat and drink. And we're like, at the time, we're poor, right? So we're like, well, he's like, you guys want to come along? We're like, yeah, sure. And I'm engaged at the time. And so we would go out and we'd get something to eat. Pete would start drinking. Next thing you know, he'd start meeting up with some friends.
Gonna do some cocaine.
And yeah, well, he's doing like the other stuff. So next thing you know, we're looking at the clock. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Finally, we get back to the house, and I'm driving Sean home. And, I just remember talking to my fiance at the time, and she was so mad. So then a week later comes up. Pete's like, come on, man, let's go out. And
Get in the car.
no, so Sean and I are like, well, Sean's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, all right, well, we're going to drive because that way we can control when we get home. Pete's like, oh, man, come on, get in the car. Seriously. I was out last night late, man. I'm tired.
Right.
It'll be an early night.
I'll bring you home by.
It'll be an early night, right? So we're like, we look at each other. We're like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
So we
famous
get
last words.
yeah, we get in the car, right? 4 o'clock in the morning, we get home again, right? And, we fell for this damn thing several times.
Yeah, at least 4 or 5.
Several times. And, at the time it was funny because, both Sean and I were, college, and we were, we fancied ourselves as partiers, right? And Pete's like, yeah, you guys like to drink a little bit? Like, yeah, we can drink with anybody, man. Nobody can drink with this cat. Well, except for his mom. God bless her heart. She passed. Her name was Lou, and she could put it away, man. So we quickly learned that we were out of our league dealing with this cat, right? So we would go to this bar called The Barn, and Pete, it's something that happened. He was in a celebratory mood, and Sean and I, he had to get up early and go to class the next day, and I had something going on. So we're at this bar, and he's buying everybody rounds of drinks. So he's buying us these shots of vodka. So Sean and I were like, fuck, we can't drink this shit, man. We'll never get home. So we take and pour out the vodka in a trash can, and we get the bartender to pour in water. So Pete's making his rounds. He comes back. He's like, dude, you guys haven't drank your shot yet. He goes, we were telling him, well, we're waiting for you to come back, man. Come on, bottoms up. So we throw it down. It's just a glass of water, right? Pete's like, yeah, these motherfuckers are in party mode tonight. So he gets us another shot of vodka, and then he goes around, does his round. We pour it out, get it filled up with water. He comes back and he goes, dude, what are you guys doing? You're not drinking. And we're like, hey, we're waiting for you. Bottoms up. So we throw it down again. He's like, dude, you guys are my guys tonight, man. We're partying hard. And we're like, hell yeah, we're not getting home till 4. Let's go, man. So we're totally egging them on, right? And so it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, dude, I'm going over to this guy's house, man, partying. We're going to do whatever. And we're like, dude, we got to get home. He goes, all right, man, I'll tell you what. So this is like the one night he had mercy on us. He goes, here's the keys to my Mustang. He goes, go ahead and drive your asses home. I'll get it in the morning, right? So we wait for him and his friends to walk out. And I'm like in the parking lot, going right past the bar. And I just lit up the tires, man. Just freaking flying past them. I could see them like, those motherfuckers, that's my car. So we take his car home. Now Pete has this backyard with a pool. Then there's like a hill that goes up, a gradual hill goes up and then gradually goes down. It goes out quite a ways. Then there's woods. So we decided we were going to park his car way out by the woods so he wouldn't be able to see it. So he gets home the next day and he can't find his car. So he's calling me. He goes, motherfuckers, what are you guys doing in my car? And we're like,
Where's my car?
yeah, we're like, go take a walk up the hill, man. He walks up the car. I mean, it's way back in the grass,
They
man.
parked it back in the fucking woods.
Oh man.
Well, hey, the Chondro kids in the group chat, they want to know if that's where The Barn came from.
No, actually,
The Boa Barn was Paul Miles, my partner. We
Hey.
split up. He
Hey.
lived right next to me.
they don't want to hear from you now.
Why don't you shut
Did you hear that
What do
they?
you think? You're a
Hang on,
celebrity now?
they talk chondros. Chondros means no more Pete Call. we know Pete can't feed chondros. Remember where yours came to me? Yeah, 2.5 months later, Pete's like, "Hey, you think you can get these feeding for me?" Remember that?
I remember shit down in my basement, that little red
Oh,
light.
you hated those things.
Little red light hanging down.
And that pair you had, they were really nice. You had that blue female and that male that had the blue diamonds on the back.
Yeah, beautiful.
I don't know where you got them from, but they were really nice. No, the barn came from when Sean bought his first house. It had this sort of dilapidated barn that he fixed up, had electric water put to it and everything. And that's what they called the barn. And then that was Sean's thing at the time. He did the green or the chondros and the poison arrow frogs. Then he got his brother Christian into it. And then Christian kind of took over when Sean became a doctor. He just didn't have time anymore. So Christian took over the chondro collection. And then when he moved away from the barn, he then converted half of his garage at his new house, called it the mini barn.
Nice. I remember you telling us that on, I think, ContraCast, right, Smitty?
Probably, yeah.
Just remember
think-
that now.
Yeah, yeah.
The last episode of Contracast I did, I think, was with Tim. That was a while ago.
So,
Chondros
What's
are
up,
awesome.
Andy Middleton? Pete thanks you for the electric pen.
Oh, God.
Andy coming in clutch.
I hate
Love that kid.
man. Dude. I went right to bed. I was driving down the road with Timmy, and I was like, I'm so fucking high. This is not right. Oh, I'm taking a cat nap. I got
6 hours later.
a couple C's in.
And
Timmy drove the whole way down here. I didn't even touch the pedal.
Well, I always think it's funny when you take a 95 south from you guys' neck of the woods heading down our way. I feel like every state goes pretty well, and then you get to South Carolina, and no offense, Smitty, it fucking takes forever. Like, I don't know why, but that state, like, I think it has the most stretch of 95 besides Florida.
Well, actually,
Wow.
North
Hey, man.
Carolina's
I don't
pretty
know.
long,
Okay,
too.
here's a
Yeah.
good story. Look, I'm riding home. I went down to Strictly, right? And I bought 100 baby boas from Mike. And I brought some stuff down, whatever. We did a little deal. And Mike Gully, who worked for me at the time, was riding back with me. And we're flying down. Mike's like, I got to get home. His wife loves him, and he wanted to get home, man. He's like, I'm like, dude, let's get a room, man. Fuck this. And he's like, no, man, we're going to do it. We're going to ride all the way home. Anyway, it's a rainstorm. And there's a section on 95 in the Carolinas, man. I think it was South Carolina. I'm not fucking sure. But listen, fucking hydroplane. Like, all of a sudden, my car, I wake up, man, and I'm going backwards at 75 miles an hour next to a tractor trailer. And I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to fucking die for sure, right? And we fly off the road down into this ravine, man, and the truck sinks. So it sinks so bad in this swamp that he couldn't even open the doors. Mike had to climb out the window, man. He goes, I'll go get out.
Jesus.
Yeah, you do that. I'll be right here.
I'll be waiting for you. Yeah.
And he disappears. He goes back like an hour later, man. A tow truck, oh my. And then proceeds to drive home. He goes, I got to get home. Dude, he drove to my house, right? And then got out from my house and went all the way up to Western Maryland.
That's right. It's another
His
couple
house.
hours. Yeah.
Wow.
I said, dude, wow. I said, you must have want some pussy or something. What are you doing, man? You got to get on that bad.
Did the boas make it?
Oh, yeah, they were fine.
All right, good.
Dude, we got pulled. Well, not pulled over, but okay. So I'm off the side of the road. Well, while Mike's out, like getting help and shit, these cops pull up, and I'm like, uh-oh. Like, what do you got? What do you got in these boxes? I said, snakes. Yeah, sure. The cop's like, sure you do.
Shelter.
And the cop was like, yeah, oh yeah. But he was like, got cocaine in there. I said, I don't have any cocaine, motherfucker. There's no coke in this car. He said, let me see him. So I open the bags up and there's boa constrictors in there. He's like, no shit. He goes, I thought I had a good drug bust. That's wrong. No drug bust here, brother.
Wrong Colombians.
Yeah. All Colombians.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Did you expect the ball python craze to be what it is now?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Like even when you were having those first pies and stuff, did you ever see it expect like being what it is now with the just ungodly amount of combinations?
But I didn't jump on the bandwagon. Like a lot of people were like breeding the pies and the albinos.
Mm-hmm.
I was just producing pies. And then I said, I guess I got to do this too. And I'm like, fuck. Now I got to buy albinos. I got to buy fucking angry distance. I got to buy this, that, the other thing, you know, and plug them into the pies. I didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to do the pies, to be honest with you. I was like, these are ultimate. These are so beautiful. But I was like watching everybody else do it. And I was like, I got to do it. I got to cross all this stuff in. And, you know, we turned into, I don't know, maybe 1,000 ball pythons turned into 5,000 ball pythons. I was like, oh my God, damn it. And then, of course, you know, like the boas, man, I could just get frozen food. It was easy.
Mm-hmm.
But these fucking ball pythons want nice, fresh fucking rats. And I'm like, damn. Then I had to have a rodent room.
Mm-hmm.
And I would call Kevin Bryant. Kudos to Kevin Bryant from Rodent Pro. Awesome dude. But I would call him and he would send this dude, Ernie, to my house. And he would always come at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I would get like 4,000, like going into the breeding season, like going into like September, October, into November. And Ernie would come with these, like it would be like, so I started buying rodent fruit from Kevin for my rodent room, right? So I get like 6 pallets in the back and then like 5,000 live mediums, right? So Ernie would show up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I had a bobcat and we lift it up and we hoist him into the top of the building, man. It's crazy. And I was like, this is terrible. Like the fucking ball pythons, I fucking hate you right now. Like that was like, I was like, these motherfuckers want live food. They want nice, fresh, fat fucking rats. Where a boa constrictor, you just pull a fucking large out of the freezer, thaw it out, you know, they suck them down.
Be half rotten.
But I did get, so one year I said, you know what? I'm not giving them fresh stuff. You're not getting it anymore. So I had to wait like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks and get real hungry. And then I started feeding them frozen. And they were eating it.
And they would go for it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's super cool. Glory days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Tell us a Bob Clark story.
Which one?
I don't know anything.
I was just there. I went there like
I mean, it could be an old one, a
years
new one.
ago with Kevin Johnson. Kevin was buying pied berms and convinced me to go with him. And he's a little rattlebrain, man. He's like there's no chill time, right? So we go to this one restaurant on the way back from Bob's and Mike Wilbanks, and we sit down at this restaurant. I'm like, dude, we're in New Orleans, man. Like it, no, it was not New Orleans. It was where shit.
Nebraska, Oklahoma.
No, it was where the bands play, and I can't think of it now.
Anyway, you were in a place where
no, it's where all the bands are.
Talking about Nashville?
Yes. Yes.
No.
So I'm like, listen, Kevin, we're staying the night here. And the place was so beautiful. The roads were so clean. Everybody's riding around these little moped things. So we get them and we're buzzing around. We go to this nice restaurant and I'm like, let's stay the night. And he's like, no. So he calls my old lady up and I'm still in the bar and I'm giving him the finger out the window. And he's like, I'm leaving him. He goes, I'm leaving him. Fuck him. You know, he wants to stay. I'm not staying. But the street up from us is where all the bands were. And I wanted to go up there. And he was like, I'm not going up there, dude. And we got back. He wanted to get that rental car turned in before it was another day. I said, dude, you're talking a couple $100, man.
Mm-hmm.
But we did. We got back like within 15 minutes to spare. But we drove all night. You know, we didn't want to, you know. But anyway, we went there and hung out with Bob and Mike Wobanks. That was fun.
But you knew Bob way back in the day when he was, I mean, at the time, he was the only importer of these microclimates, which were at the time the only thermostats, right? You know?
Came from England.
They came from England. I think they still make them, or they did up to a few years ago. That was another thing that was pretty impressive with not just the caging or enclosures you have, was the microclimates.
Yeah.
And
Where's that bourbon?
I got it.
Fucking thirsty. Already drank his Jaeger.
So Andy Middleton wants to know how crazy the reptile scene in Maryland was in the early 90s and into the 2000s.
Well,
I wouldn't say it was.
Tell
Maryland.
Andy just to
It was
rewind the
Florida,
damn
man.
show until
Florida was
9:30.
the place to go, man. Like Florida, man. Tommy, fuck Bill, and Kathy Love. I mean, yeah. Like Maryland was not really happening.
Did you
know what
ever
I mean?
meet what the hell's the guy's name? He was the
Dealer's choice.
he was the,
Oh, that's my favorite.
he
Oh
was-
my goodness! Look at this thing he gave me.
Yeah, you may kiss that one
Okay.
goodbye. What's the guy's name in the
Yeah,
Stolen
great, a
World?
couple
The
cubes.
focal character.
Which one?
The Stolen World book. Who was it? The name
Oh,
slips.
Joe Fossey.
No, not him.
Joe
Um,
Fossey. He was going to sit
the
down.
Talking about
Philadelphia-
Mole.
Yeah, Hank Mole. Did you ever
Yeah.
meet Hank Mole?
Did I meet Hank Mole?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I partied with him so many times. He's a madman.
Oh, his stories were nuts.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's fucking crazy, man. Like I met him and I was like, dude, I got nothing for you. Hank Malt, man. Are you kidding me? And look, I would go to Crutchfield's, man. So his first manager was Chris McQuaid, who was a big, beefy son of a bitch.
Yeah, I knew who Chris
And-
was. I didn't meet him, but
And Chris didn't, we didn't go out and party a lot, right? And then he had another manager come in. His name was Adam. And Adam liked to party, and we would go down the street to, it was called Catfish Johnny's. And one night we went there, and we drank all their beer, man. Every fucking beer they had. And Adam, I swear to God, Adam was like, he could open his throat. I've never seen this before. Bob's a big dude, right? But Adam could just open his throat and slam a beer down. It's gone in like 2 seconds. I'm like, damn, dude, that's pretty cool. So we drank all their beer, right? And then this is excellent, man. This is excellent. So we drink all their beer, and then we're like, fuck, now what are we going to do? And Adam goes, well, right across from Tommy's shop is a 7-Eleven that sells beer. I said, well, let's get a fucking 30-pack. So we did, and we went into Tommy's shop, and we're hanging out. It's me, Adam, and Gino, a good friend of mine. And, now I'm pretty blitzed, and I'm going in the hot room, and I'm bringing out shit. I'm throwing it all over the fucking office, on the desk, everything, cobras, gaboon vipers, whatever the fuck I could get my hands on. And Adam was like, dude, we're going to get bit. I said, well, that just could be a problem, So he goes, put them back. So I said, okay, I'll put them back. So I put them all back. And then I'm looking at the price list, right? And it says 20 fucking plus foot long retake. Please buy this before it eats my employees. I said, you fucking pussies. I said, we need 20 plus feet. You fucking pussies can't measure the thing? And he goes, you measure it. It's wild caught, and it's 20 plus feet long. I said, where is it? Motherfucker. We go back there. Now, Adam took pictures, but I never saw the pictures. But listen, so I'm looking at this fucker in the cage. I'm going, Jesus Christ. Its head's like a foot long. I'm like, fuck. And Adam's like, oh, yeah, you measure it. I said, I will. Motherfucker So I start picking it up, right? And its head's like moving around. It's all sluggish. And I'm like, damn, this thing's big. Well, it didn't flip out until I got it out of the cage, right? It wrapped my legs together, and so I couldn't fucking do anything. It shoots out like 20 feet, man. I'm holding on to it, and it fucking turns around with its mouth open. It's coming right at me. My buddy Gino's got a 3-foot snake hook, and he's cracking it in the fucking head with it. I said, shit, this ain't working out like I thought it would. And I duck down. It goes right over my head. It's very sluggish. And then I'm just twirling, man. I'm like, if I can get this fucker's head pointed back in that cage, it'll go in there. So I did. I ended up getting it pointed in there. It zoomed in the cage, unraveled my feet and shit. I slammed the fucking doors, and I go, how do you like that? And Adam goes, you didn't measure it. I said, fuck it. I can't. This motherfucker. Yeah. Okay, so now we go back to Tommy's office, and we're hanging out. And there's a fire extinguisher on the fucking ground next to me. And I'm like, oh, look at that, a fire extinguisher. And Adam's sitting behind the desk. He's drunker than shit. His wife is a cop. She had just come there and cussed him out, like, for being out. It's like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. And I picked the fire extinguisher up, right? I pointed it at him, and I'm laughing. And he goes, don't you fucking do it. And I hit the little lever, right? And it goes, kush, right? A little yellow shit comes out. I fucking hit it again. It locks wide the fuck open. And it just douses Adam, man. And Adam's a big dude, man. Like, he's no joke. And I just dropped the fucking thing. It's still going off, right? Gino dives in the side room, and I run outside. So I'm outside. I'm looking at Tommy's shop. It's yellow. The fucking entire shop's yellow. And I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking dead. And I'm like, he's going to kill me. Well, I go into the shop, and I creep in there, right? And I'm like, where is he? Right? And there's Adam. And he just picks this fan up that's next to him, and he's like moving the fan around. It's blowing the yellow shit away. And he's blinking. And when he blinks, the fucking yellow shit's falling off his eyelashes. And I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking sorry. He goes, you motherfucker. And I said, I didn't mean to do that. It just locked on me. He goes, we got a lot of work to do. And we cleaned up Tommy's office, man. And I told Tommy the story at Daytona, right? After having Tommy was fucking dying. He goes, you motherfucker. And so we go in the next day, and there's still yellow shit, like a little bit on the keyboards and stuff. So Penny, his wife, comes up to me, and she goes, Adam told me what you guys did. And I said, did you tell him? Did you tell Tommy? She goes, no. I said, are you going to tell Tommy? She goes, no. I said, good, because he'll kill me. He'll kill me. Right? Tommy didn't even know, but his wife knew. And, she goes, you guys didn't do such a great job cleaning. I said, well, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. We were drunker than shit. So I told Crutchfield this. I said, hey, man, I got to come clean with you. I was down at the expo, and Tommy had a couple bourbons in him, and he was feeling nice. And I said, I got to tell you a story. So I sat down and told Tommy. He was fucking dying, dude. He goes, you did not. I said, I did. This is what happened. The retic, pulling the retic out, the venomous shit, the fire extinguisher. He was like, it's a good thing I like you. I was like, yeah, I know. And he was laughing. I was like, damn. I mean, it just goes on, man, like crazy. It's like fun. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this whole reptile thing for me has been like amazing. Like, I've met great people like Timmy. Now I've met another great motherfucker over here with cigars and shit and the bourbon. It's nice.
That's what it's all about, man. I don't know. I mean, I know it's changed a lot, I'm sure, with the internet and social media making the world a lot smaller, but
I'm not working.
Oh. Try it now. Can you hear anything? Phil, talk. Say something.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, okay. There we go.
We don't need
Yeah, you're good.
What was the like pre-internet and stuff when you were sending pictures? I mean, what was the average time for transactions?
The original ads I was telling you about.
Yeah, dude, it was excellent.
Like, how long did it take you to complete a transaction?
So hard, man. Like, notes from the barbarian, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
all the
sending
classifieds.
shit to people and work so hard, right? And the internet came out. I go, what the fuck? Like I spent all this time, all this effort, and now everybody can be in touch with everybody.
Yep.
And it was nice. There was positives, there was negatives, but it was a whole different era, man. It just changed everything.
I saw somebody earlier post something about the guy Wong. Did you ever meet him?
Yeah.
Remember the guy that gave Tommy the first Burmese
Yeah.
albino, right?
Yes.
Was he Taiwanese or?
I don't know.
But you
I never met him, man. I just
Like-
saw pictures, when
What,
Tommy
did you get
went there.
anything from him? Because
No.
Tommy got a lot from him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't step on those toes, man. I wouldn't fuck with Tommy.
Well, apparently, I didn't know this at the
Beast.
time, but apparently, what was it? Tommy sold the albino Burms to Bob
No,
Clark.
he did not. He put it on. Bob Clark paid him a certain amount of money to have it for a breeding season, and Clark bred it, produced the first hets and all, and then sent it back to Tommy. Yeah, it was a breeding loan, man. Like it paid a certain like a stallion almost. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
No.
I don't know what he paid him. I can't remember the number sign, but he got it for one season. And Bob, Bob's a bad motherfucker. He can breed anything.
Yeah.
He bred it, he sent it back to Tommy, and he was on his way. And then the albino ball pythons, man, that set Clark off, man.
Yeah.
That was
Now, where
excellent.
did he get those original?
I don't know what year
That
that
was
was,
from-
man.
No.
But dude, this guy, okay, the guy that ripped Bob Clark off, he hadn't ripped Bob off yet, but the same dude that ripped Bob off and broke into his building and stole all the eggs and a whole shitload of fucking
When was that?
When did that happen?
I don't know, came to my house. So this dude comes before he had ripped Bob off, right? He was going to rip me off. And like I picked him up and he's like untaping all this money on his legs in my car. And I'm like, this is shady, right? So we get to my house and I get my 12 gauge, the pistol grip, and I set it on my desk in the basement. I said, listen, just to let you know, if you come back here unannounced, you're going to meet that. I'll let him know. I said, I don't. Something bothers me about you. He still spent all the money that was taped to his sleep. I said, something's wrong with you. I just don't dig you.
And so after that, he robbed.
After that,
Wow.
he fucking went to Bob's, and then he stole, I don't know, 20 clutches of fucking ball pythons,
Wow.
the albinos,
Wow.
and yeah, he ripped him off, man.
There was some genetic issue with those early on too, wasn't there? With the albino balls.
Not really, man. I like the boas, man. The boas had an eyeball thing.
Mhm.
No, I don't think there was,
I
man.
thought there was something with
I
the
never
albino
had
balls.
any issues with the albino balls.
And Tim had mentioned something about the IMGs. Is that something you
Yeah, did you start those?
Yeah.
did?
What was
You?
your thing?
Yeah.
How did that start?
Well, Expo again, right? It's me, Jeremy Stone, and Brandon Week from Summit Reptile. Three of us. And it's Friday, and I've had my table set up, and we're just walking around. So I walk up on this litter of Annurothista bows, like 40 up in there, but one of them is completely different than the other ones.
Mhm.
And he had $300 each. And I said to the guy, man, like I saw Jeremy looking at it, and Brandon, I said, fuck you, man, I'm first. I got here first, motherfucker.
Dibs.
And I said, what is that? He goes, that came in the litter. I said, is that $300? He goes, yeah. I said, put it in the bag. And I told Jeremy, I said, don't you try to fuck me. And I went back to my table. I got $300 from my wife, and I gave it to the dude. And then I didn't think about it, right? So I brought it home, and my wife came in the office one day, like a year and a half later or something, and she's holding this 5-foot black boa constrictor. I said, what the fuck is that? She goes, remember that snake you got at Daytona? I said, yes, I do. And she's holding it up. I said, oh my goodness. I said, what the fuck? Like, I'm just holding it. Like, oh my, it's all shiny black.
Yeah.
I said, wow. I said, one is genetic.
Mhm.
So I bred it, and I spent 30 grand with come to me, friend of mine, and I got these beautiful Sunglow males, 2 of them, and I bred them both repetitively to her.
Mhm.
And I got a litter of babies, right? Well, half of them look different than the other half. I said, oh, it is genetic.
Mhm.
Wow.
And that started it.
But is that just a simple recessive?
No,
I'm not hip. Oh, okay. I say
Yeah,
I'm
but
not super
just
hip to a lot of the boa
like
morphs.
you
So.
breed an IMG to a regular boa,
Mhm.
half your babies will be
So
IMG.
what's
Okay.
IMG stand for?
Increased melanin gene.
Oh.
So I
okay.
got that from Dave Barker, man. I was like, what are these things, man? He goes, he goes, increased melanin gene. So over time, they get darker and darker. So
Mhm.
it's increased melanin gene, right? So I said, okay, that's cool.
It's one of the few that I can see it and know what it is. Like I can
Yeah.
actually visually identify it and be like, I'm vaguely familiar, like with pastel
Sexy.
balls and other
Boy,
basic stuff.
Ben Russo's got one too. He wrote the book on them.
I love Ben Russo.
You like Vinny? He's
I
cool.
love Vin. And Paul. So we
Paul.
used to go up to New York. Smiley and I would go up there and get blood pythons.
Oh yeah.
And they were important back in the day. We'd drive up to New York.
Did you know Bob Udell?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm just reading from the scroller here, trying to.
That name does ring a bell for me, but
Yeah,
I don't.
It does a little bit.
And our buddy Scott in Australia wanted to know if you ever came across Ompellis.
What's this? Wait.
Yeah. No, I did not.
Podcast of Kahl versus Bartoloni.
No, Cody.
Oh, come on. Cody's not in the same ballpark, man.
Casey was saying, I guess somebody had Ompellis like 25, 30 years ago, and then they wound up freezing them, burying them in the Pine Barrens of Jersey or something.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Destroying the
I used to
evidence.
Go to the Pine Barrens. The worst fucking mosquitoes you ever want to meet in your entire life.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Worse than Florida.
Dude,
Really?
way worse. Like, listen.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, I went up there with a couple buddies of mine to go pine snake hunting, and we got out of the car, and within like a fucking minute, man, I said, what the fuck is going on? They were all over my face and my arms and shit, biting the fuck out of me. I said, oh, this is going to be miserable. And we didn't have any bug spray. Said, what the fuck? But we caught pine snakes, and we got eggs and
That's
shit.
cool.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I went up there with this guy. God, I can't think of his name now. He lived in Parkville, and he moved down to Florida with his wife, and he did basically corn snakes, but he was like my mentor a little bit, man. Like he was a really nice guy, and he took me up there, and we caught pine snake. Look, so we're riding down the road, and this big, like 7-foot pine snake's crossing the street, and I was out of the car before he could even put it in park, dude, running, and I grabbed it, and he fell out of the truck and didn't put it in park, and the truck's riding down the road. And then he was like, look, man, there's eggs in here. Like, he was like very scientific, and, you know, he knew what so he's like, look, see the swirl there? There's a snake in there, or there's eggs in there. And he would reach in and pull out a clutch of pine snake eggs. I'm like, get out of here, man. Yeah, It was fun. But of course, then you're still getting eaten alive.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I liked it there, but it was like really rough on mosquitoes, man.
Yeah, you can't herp the pineys unless you got a unless it's like windbreaker weather. It's
Yeah.
warm enough to see stuff, but you're not getting eaten alive. You remember that guy's
You didn't.
name or no?
No, I can't think of it.
He's foregoing the ice.
Fuck, man. I used to go over there and get mice too when I was a kid. I was a kid. I mean, I was in my teens then. I can't think of his name right now. That's terrible.
Yeah, you'll remember at 2 a.m. and text one of us.
Yeah.
Phil knows how this works.
Yeah, man. So Scott also wants to know, what's the wildest morph that never happened?
I don't think there is one. I mean, everything happened.
Hell
Like,
of an answer, man. Hell of an answer. I love
Like,
it.
seriously, like all of them. Like, I'd see, like Ralph would get something where I got a good one. Okay, so you guys know Noah is from Africa, right?
Well, you told us about him, yeah.
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 So he brought in the first pies. He brought in the first, everything, man. So Noah was a really cool guy. We got along well. But then Ralph and I decided to buy. So I had a white ball python, and it was actually
Like the Lucy story.
yeah. It was like he sent me the picture on the side. It was actually an ivory, but I didn't know that at the time. And I hatched the first eggs from it, and they weren't yellow bellies, right? So I was like, I'm on to something here. Well, it turns out this dude that was like watching over my collection, helping my wife when I was building a new facility to move everything into, when I was getting kicked off Manor Road, stole the first eggs.
Wow.
So I had these normal looking babies that came out. Well, Chad Brown from the Seattle Seahawks, man.
Yeah, Paul Exotics.
Yeah, he goes, I'll give you $100,000 for a pair of them. I said, all right, excellent. He sent me $100,000. I sent a pair of snakes. Well, I bred it the next year, and I had yellow bellies. I said, oh, fuck me. So I had to call Chad up, and I said, listen, dude, we got a problem. He just like, talk to me. I said, I just hatched yellow bellies out of that thing. And he's like, no way. And I said, yeah. I said, what do you want to do? I said, I don't want you suing me. I want to make this right. What do you want to do? He said, I'll tell you what. I said, I don't have a lot of cash right now, but I can send you 50. And then, how about I send you a box of a nice box, man, of all kinds of nice shit. And he was like, all right, I'm good with that. I said, all right. So I had to go pack this box, man, and I put like probably 75, 80 grand of nice stuff in this box, and I sent it to him, plus the 50, and we're cool to this day, man. But I was like, God damn. So the guy, Jeff, that fucking ripped me off, I just ran into him 2 times in the past year at the local pub by my house. And the first time he comes up, he goes, hey, man, you look good. I said, listen, you fuck. I said, get away from me. Don't even. I said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to fucking snap your neck. So he left. Then I'm there with my girlfriend, and I see him again. And he just looked at me, and I looked at him, and like he waddled off on his way. I was like, God, I wanted to smash his face in. So he, not only did he steal those eggs back in the day,
Like he took the eggs.
he took the whole clutch and put another clutch in normals with this clutch, right?
Like swapped
them. And so, like, I go to Chicago Reptile show, right? Brian Potter's show.
Mm-hmm.
And my main guy, Chris Miller, calls me up and he goes, dude, somebody's been in their building. There's snake bags on a freezer. Somebody's been in here. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I said, check the alarm. So the alarm had gone off at like 3 a.m. Somebody was in there and it split. And it was Jeff. So he stole some pies and some other stuff. Well, I caught him on this whole thing, man. And we went to court, and the judge gets me to go back in the courtroom with him. He goes, what do you want to do with this guy? And he comes in with like little hearing aids, man, acting, and I'm feeling sorry for the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what do you think we should do? And the judge is like, I think 6 months. He goes, you want more? I said, no, I'm cool with that. I felt sorry for him, man. And when I asked him why he ripped me off, he said he wanted to adopt another baby. I said, well, why you rip? He goes, I don't know, dude. I did it. And I was like, all right, man. He had to come to my shop and bring the pies back. So he brought his mother with him. And I'm sitting in my office with Chris and Paul and Amy. And he pulls up, right? I'm like, fuck. I got to go out there and like talk to him and get the pies, right? His mother's with him. And it was so hard, man. I went out there and he gave me the animals and everything, and I'm just staring at him. I'm like, God, I want to hit this guy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I said, you fucked up, dude. That was very stupid, man. You know, why would you do that to me? I thought of him as a great friend. I met him through March Matero.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to motorcycle races together and everything. It just blew my mind. But I was like, all right, you know, I got the animals from him. He went in for 6 months, and that was the end of it. But the fact that he took those eggs, man, from that white snake, and I thought I had something different than a ivory, man. So I had normal babies, man. And when those fucking yellow bellies popped out the next year, I said, oh my God. Like, I've been had. Like, and I just sold a pair to fucking Chad Brown. Like, I'm like, for $100,000. I'm like, oh my. And I sat in my office and I was just like, I gotta call him. And I'm like, what do I say, man? Like, you know? And it's like, dude, I've been breeding a male to all these high-end females.
Oh,
right? And I'm like, oh,
Jesus.
Goodness. I'm like, whatever makes you. I said, Chad, I don't know what to say, brother. It's a hard conversation. I said, yeah, but, you know, I'll make it right, whatever I got to do. He was very, very cool.
Yeah. Let
me off easy, I think. Gave him 50, and then I sent him a nice box of snakes, man. Like, I packed some nice stuff.
Well, whatever happened to the original clutch?
I'm sorry?
Whatever happened to the original clutch? Did that guy hatch them, or like the ones that he swapped?
Well, I don't know.
They just disappeared?
I didn't even know he did it, right? I had him arrested for breaking into my place. He called me up. He says, hey, he calls Chris up. He says, hey, you going to the shop today? I want to get some rodents. And Chris Miller is headed to my shop, but he's like, no, I'm not headed to the shop today, right? That's when Chris went there and the bags were there. So this guy had it lined up, but I had another dude, man, that came in from Europe, and I should have known something because he was missing teeth and shit. And he was buying possible hat albino boas, and they were like $2,500 back then. So we picked out like 6 of them, and I went upstairs, you know, I don't know for what, but I went upstairs. This dude switched them with hats when I was upstairs.
And they were.
So and I sold some possible
What
hats.
were the hats going for then?
I think it was $9,000 for
a hat female, right?
Like a trio.
Yeah.
2.1. Wow. But this guy ripped me off. Like you meet great people and you meet some bad people, some bad seeds.
We're talking about great people. How about this story for everybody staying up late? I'm glad I thought about this, but I'm almost positive you have a story with a infamous guitar player from a rock band in the 80s with a single name, Guns N' Roses. Did Slash, you sold him a snake? Yeah, you went out and partied with her or something?
Yeah, we didn't really party.
But you went out there, right?
We went out there. And look, so we're so fucking hungover in the morning, man. I'm like, and Mike Gully's there. We took Mike Gully. So Mike Gully rode a coach.
So Slash,
and me and Gino were in first class, and we're slinging the curtain open, going, motherfucker, what's up? You know, and Gully didn't really drink, right? So Gino and I get fucked up. We end up in L.A. We go to
but how did this whole
go
thing
to prehistoric pets.
But how the whole...
Well, okay, so one day my phone rings. You know, no cell phones back then. I had wall-mounted phones everywhere. And I picked the phone up, and some dude on the other end is like,
nice.
this is Slash, Saul Hudson. I said, fuck you, Hiroshi. I thought it was Hiroshi fucking with me, right? And he starts laughing. And I'm listening to his voice. I said, hold on for a second, motherfucker. I put my hand over the phone. I go, dude, I think I got Slash from Guns N' Roses on the phone. And Gully comes over, right? I'm like, all right, what's up? And he's like, no, this is Saul Hudson Slash, you know, when I want to buy a pair of albino boas. And I'm like, it is you, isn't it? He goes, yeah, it's me.
You're real.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, I told Gino, my best friend, I said, listen, man, we're going to California. and we're gonna get fucked up with Slash. And Gino goes, no way. I'm gonna talk to the old lady. I'll call you back. Right? So he hangs up on me, my best friend, right? Calls me back like 5 minutes later. He goes, really? I said, yeah. You in? Did you get a green card? He goes, yeah, I got a green card. And I said, all right, I'll make the fucking flight arrangements. And we get on this airplane, and of course, because Gino drinks and I drink, we go into first class. We stuff Gully back in the back of the plane, dude. He's back there. And him and I are just fucking having a great time with these stores, flight attendants, whatever you want to call them. And we're having a great time. And we're fucking with Gully. We go, I got video, Timmy, I have videos of us. Look, Hiroshi, who worked for Slash at the time, is a black belt. And he's a little motherfucker with long hair halfway down his back. And he's badass. So we're fighting him in the parking lot. And I got a video, dude. He kicks me in the fucking chest, man. I swear to God. He stepped me across the parking lot. I hit the ground, dude. I passed out. Right? I'm laying on the fucking parking lot. I'm like, God damn it, that hurt. And I could hear Gino laughing. I'm like, you motherfucker. That's bullshit. Right? And then we proceed to fight again. Right? And then we're back at, so Slash comes, he leaves. And then it's, God, what's his name, man? So it's Hiroshi, me, Gino, and Jim. This motherfucker, Jim, worked for Slash, too. And I've been friends with him. I've been hanging out with him a couple of years. Dude, he's crazy and shit. So we're doing bong hits, pulling tubes, and everything. And Hiroshi wants to fight. Like, he's all amped up now. Well, there's a set of steps that go up to this little storage room. Fucking Gino tries to go up the steps to get to fucking Hiroshi, and he kicks Gino in the chest. He flies down the steps. I said, "Oh, how did that feel, you motherfucker?" And we just proceeded to party and carry on in California for like a week.
Yeah, because wasn't the boa that Slash had on the cover of Reptiles? That was one of the. I think it was an albino boa.
Might have been. I saw him two nice Carl.
Yeah,
fuckers, man. Like,
because Slash was on the cover of Reptile magazine, and I think it was an albino boa that he was on the cover with.
So Gino and I are so fucking hungover, and Mike Gully and Hiroshi are cleaning snake cages to make it look nice for Slash when he gets there. And I said, I can't hang here, man. It's bullshit. I said, where can we go? We need some Jack and Coke, whatever, man. This is bullshit. So they drive us up the street and drop us off at a TGI Fridays, man. Right? Me and Gino are sitting there just getting busy on some Jack and Cokes. And then fucking Jim comes in. Jim's got long fucking hair. You got a picture of this dude, right? He comes in. He goes, Pete Kahl and his entourage. Pete Kahl and his entourage. Me and Gino are sitting at the bar. I said, oh, fuck, here we go, man. Some motherfucker here wants us. And we're fucked up, man. So Slash is supposed to not be drinking and smoking or anything. But I bought a whole bar. Dude, I set up a fucking bar in the warehouse. And I know what he likes. Cranberry and vodka. I got some shots. I got everything all laid out. Cigarettes, the whole 9 yards. So we had to wait like 2 hours, man. He was supposed to be there like 7. He got there like 9, whatever. And it's fucking bang, bang, bang at the door. And I'm like, I wonder if that's him. I open the door. There he is. Dude, he has his top hat on. He's like, what's up? I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's got this dude with him, man. This buff motherfucker with him, right? And he's paying this dude to keep him from doing drugs and drinking.
Really?
So as soon as he walks in, I go, hey, I said, I got everything all set up. You want a vodka and cranberry? I hear you like that. He goes, yeah. And this dude goes, no, fuck you. So I pour him a strong one, man. I give it to him, man. I said, you want to smoke? He goes, yeah, I love Marlboro Lights. I said, I know. Here, let me light it for you. And this dude stared at me going, what the fuck, man? You're not even listening to me. And I'm like, no, I'm not listening. Fuck you. You're not even here, motherfucker. So he had 2 spots in a warehouse. So we're at the one, we hang out there, we look at snakes, and then we're walking to the other one, right? It's like across the parking lot,
Mhm.
1,000 feet away. I think Slash smoked 3 of my cigarettes walking over. He goes, "Can I have another one?" I said, "Sure, absolutely, brother." We go over there and look at the other snakes. And then we go to this nightclub. It's me, Hiroshi, and Gino. The dude that was the bouncer guy for him was there. And he's eyeballing me. Eyeballing me, man. And Hiroshi goes, "I'm going to kick his ass." I said, "Don't do that, man. You'll kill him. You'll hurt him." So the guy's just staring at me. We end up having drinks together. The guy was cool, but he was Slash's like guy to keep him from,
straight.
Didn't work. By the time Slash left the warehouse, he was fucking stumbling. Excellent.
Was there a particular reason he wasn't drinking or smoking?
He
or
just was on a sabbatical, man. He was like, I think how much partying that guy did, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm just not,
Sometimes you got to take a little break.
But he dove into the cranberry and vodkas. He did shots. And that dude was like, "What the fuck am I here for?" And I was like, "I don't know. Why don't you leave?"
You're still getting paid? Shut up.
Wow.
Whenever we went to Prehistoric Pets the next day to see Jay Brewer, and I had my video camera, I was always, videotaping everything. And Gino was so sick of it, man. My best friend, he gets out of the front seat. I'm in the back, shoved in the back of his car, piece of shit Hiroshi. And Gino goes, "Pete, with that fucking camera." I was videotaping him. He goes, "Pete, with that camera, I'm going to shove that thing up your ass." I'm like, "Shut up." And we go into Prehistoric Pets and hang out with Jay Brewer.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. What a nice place.
Yeah,
He has a nice fucking place, man. Excellent. So, yeah. A lot of dumb shit has happened over the years.
All as a result from snakes.
You got to write a book, man. You got to write a fucking book.
I've had too much fun, man. I can't even, it feels like another lifetime now, to be honest with you. It's like I'm older now. I'm 58, right? And I got a 20-year-old and 19-year-old daughter. Great fucking kids. I'm so blessed. But it seems like when I look back, it seems like another life.
Mm-hmm.
Like now it's like so different, man. It's just, I don't know, all that crazy time back then.
Mm-hmm.
And like just diving in, man, and getting into it.
Well,
like
things
with
were
the
just
snakes and the
moving
people.
fast. Yeah.
I loved it, man. I loved the animals, but I also loved the people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was meeting people I thought I could never meet. Man, I'm going down to Brian Sharp's house and get my hair cut by his wife. and we're getting Foster oil cans and we're driving around in Virginia catching snakes. This is ridiculous. Then I'm meeting Crutchfield, and I'm like, well, my first trip to Florida was Bill and Kathy Love.
Mm-hmm.
So I had gotten in touch with them out of Notes from Noah, right? And I said, "I'm coming to Florida. I'm going to see this friend of mine in Miami. I want to come over to Fort Myers and hang out with you guys." And they were like, "Cool." So I met them at some pizza joint, and they were so freaking nice. It was unbelievable. We had pizza. We went back to their house, looked at all corn snakes with Kathy and Bill. And then I went snake hunting for like, I don't know, a week. He's got some good shit here. Look.
I'm not even a rye guy. That's been sitting on the fridge for like 2
that's my
years.
favorite.
So you can take that with you when you leave.
I'll kill it. I'll be dead tomorrow.
No, but I was showing him.
So I'm with Timmy so he convinces me, well, not convinced me, but he's like, "Dude, I'm going to Florida and you want to go?" And I was like, "Well, I got nothing really going on." And I had to sit down with my wife to be. And I'm like, don't be mad at me. I said, "But I'm going to Florida." And she just stared at me, man, for like a minute, like with fire in her eyes. And I was like, she goes, "Who are you going with?" I said, "Timmy." She goes, "School teacher Timmy?" I said, "Yeah." thinks about it a little bit. She goes, well, I guess if you're going to go with somebody, that's a better one to go with than some of your other knucklehead friends. And I said, are you cool with this? And it took her a while, but she was like, yeah, you know. So here we sit, man. We're in Savannah, almost in Savannah. Timmy's buddy's house, doing a podcast. It's excellent. And then we're headed down to Florida, man.
Justin, you said you're not going to make the show this year.
I am going.
Oh, you're now?
Yeah, there was a point within the last week.
I might get him to leave me here. You go home, man. I'll catch a flight. I'll just go right to Daytona.
Man, that's the one show that I went for the first time in 2019, and now it's like the one thing a year that I gotta go do.
I wanted the first one. So Ted Pites got beat up. He pinched some girl's ass, and he ended up in an ambulance.
Jesus.
That was the first year, and that was to the Holiday Inn next to the Twin Towers.
Right. Then they did two.
And I had met Wayne for the first time, and I don't know,
because it was originally in Orlando, right?
Well, that
was the first one, yeah.
The Twin Towers were in Orlando, but it was at a Holiday Inn one year.
Okay.
So this motherfucker, Wayne, moves the show from Orlando to Daytona.
Right.
So I go to Daytona, the first one, right? And I run into this sexy little mama at what's the name of that place, man? The Ocean Deck. So I'm there with Cameron Herpetoculture, Mike, who worked for Sig in California, me, and I think that was it, the three of us, man. So we stop on the beach, we smoke a blunt, and we go in there and we sit down, and I'm staring at this beautiful lady. She's got this little sexy tattoo on her back, and I'm just staring at her. And Cameron's talking to me, and he's going, dude, go talk to her. What the fuck? Dude, you're just you can't even have a conversation. I said, I'm memorized. I said, look how beautiful she is. And he goes, go talk to her. And I was like, I can't. And he goes, go talk to her. And I said, I can't. And then I walk over there, right? She's got a big ring on her finger. So I talked to her, and it was her two aunts with her, right? And I talked to her, and like, look, there was something happened, man, like looking at each other. But I saw the ring on her finger, and I was like, I don't do that, right? I'm not a guy that's going to break a marriage or whatever. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. So the next night, I go there, couple of us, and I'm sitting there in a chair, and I'm just staring at the door, man. And I see her walk in. I go, uh-oh. And she scopes around and sees me, comes right down. She goes, we got to go outside and talk. I said, all right, let's go. So we go outside. She goes, listen, I'm wearing the ring. I'm separated. I'm living at my parents' house. I'm wearing the ring because I don't want people picking up on me and shit. She goes, but I like you. And I was like, God, I'm in love with you. I said, I'm fucking in love with you. I said, I don't know what to tell you. And so we hung out that weekend and all. And then she lived in Michigan. So she went home and hit me up. And I said, why don't you just pack your bags? She goes, I'll bring my mom with me. I said, okay, that's cool. Pack your bags and come to my house. I married her. I had 2 kids with her, and that just happened on a whim down in Florida. Crazy.
Dude, we always say it, man. Daytona is a fucking magical show.
Dude, it was excellent. So I would fuck with Wayne. I go, listen, you fucker. I said, Christ, if you had left the show in Orlando, I said I wouldn't have 2 fucking kids eating all my food and shit. We used to joke about it all the time, man. But Wayne is, I don't know, man. I love him, man. He's such a amazing herper, a person. His personality. Like last year, I swear to God, man, I'm driving down the road and I'm like, dude, I'm a little late. And it's like midnight. He's like, come to my suite. And I said, okay, we'll be there shortly. And we went up to his suite, and my old lady was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, Wayne was so cool. We're up in his suite. We stayed till like 2:00 in the morning, man. And then we went across the street to our B&B. But dude, Wayne Hill, I mean, you know, I'm in his room hanging out with him, just shooting the breeze, man. You know, how cool was that? Like, so I think more of the meeting of some really nice people is even better than the reptiles. The
Absolutely.
reptiles are cool and everything.
Yeah.
But I got a chance to meet people from Italy, you know, John Rigoro, man, all these cool people all over the world, man. Like that part of it was, I think, better than the reptiles, man. Just to be able, like, you have a mind, like for you and I, man. I said, man, I love. I had a Trans-Pecos rat say, "Yours, I got one right here." I said, "Get the fuck out of here." So, you know, just like the, I don't know, the whole friendship thing, and like I would have never met you, dude.
True.
I would have never met you if it wasn't for the snakes
That's right.
and everything. And you know, I would have never met. Like, it's just that part of it to me was like the mind blowing part, man. Like I would lay in bed and think about it and go, wow, I just met this dude from wherever. I had these guys come to my house one time. They were from the Czech Republic, right? So I, you know, I'm walking around the house, I'm doing some chores and stuff. I bang, bang, bang on the front door, right? I open the door. These motherfuckers can't talk to me. They can't talk English.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a translation book. I'm looking at these two dudes, man. I'm like, fuck are you doing here? Who are you? You know, and they're like, you know, and they're going through a little book and they're trying to talk to me. I'm like, how the fuck did you find my house? Well, they went to the post office up the street. I had a postal right. So I had P.O. Box 150, right? Long Green, Maryland. Well, these dudes go to the post office. Say, where's the snake man? You know, and they're trying to do it with their book. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess you guys are settling in. I said, come on in the fucking house, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to fuck with these motherfuckers, man. so I have this titty bar down the street, right? And Felicia, this chick I know, is so beautiful, man. I take him there. And I go up to the machine when I get there and I get like, I don't know, $100 and $1 bills. And I sit down with these guys and they got their little book, man. They're trying to talk to me. I can't talk to them. And but I'm feeding booze and shit, and the tits are. So I gave Felicia, good friend of mine. She's beautiful, dude, beautiful. I give her like $100 or $200. I don't know. I give her some cash, and I go, I want you to rub your titties all over their fucking heads, right? I want to see this shit happen, right? So they did. I mean, she did. Look, she had beautiful tits too, and she's squeezing them in her face and shit. And they got their little book, and they're, you know, and I'm like, this is fucking not happening right now. And I'm like, God damn it, man! Like, this can't get any better. Like shit like that to me was like that was defining moments of being in the snake business. Was just meeting cool people.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Daytona's morphed into for us. You know, we talk about it all the time. Like the reptile show is just a bonus. Like other than that, like we go there to hang out with people. You know, like I like going to the show, but it's hanging out with everybody and stuff for the weekend.
But,
you know,
like being able to meet all these people from all over the world, man, was like amazing to me. Like you meet people in your neighborhood, at the bar, whatever. But no, this is a whole nother level, man. Meeting like fucking Bill Love, Kathy Love, Crutchfield, Adam, Chris McQuaid, man, like all these people, just like wow, man. Like
I remember meeting this dude for the first time, man. That was the first Daytona I went to because I got to pee in Cody's late.
I already did that story, man.
All right, shut the fuck up then.
I got to pee in Cody's late, and I was staying the night, and they were like, "Oh yeah, James and Tim are staying." I'm like, "Who?" They're like, "James Oakdale and Tim Morris." I was like, "Wait a second."
Sweetheart, man. Haven't seen her in 20 some fucking years or whatever. We had dinner last night. She came, and then Sean came, who Sean did become a doctor, man. He's helping me out. Dude, he's a great guy. I'm sticking my tongue in his ear. I got pictures, man. I got pictures. Sean's a cool dude.
He is a good guy.
So then we're riding down the road, and Timmy tells me we're looking at some badass Porsche, man, like $100,000, $1,000 Porsche, whatever. And Timmy goes, "That's what Sean has." I call, "That's you, motherfucker. You actually have one of these things."
And Sean is Christian's
Dude,
older brother.
Sean is the shit, man.
I mean, even just the Condors, they've been some of the best in the world, man.
Yeah.
I mean, bar none.
And he did some of the original stuff too with a lot of the poison arrow frogs.
Just so many
Volunteered
people
down
over the
the,
years, man. That's the
yeah.
excellent. That's the excellent part to me of this industry is the people that you meet. Like that is like, how does that happen, man?
Yeah.
Like I would have never met. Like I could just name off a ton of people, man, that I've met, and that's like the best part. I mean, that is what matters, man. The snakes are cool too. Don't get me wrong, but the people, Mike Jolliffe, Lunchbox,
Mike
man,
Jolliffe, yeah.
dude, Jolliffe would come to my house, right? And he had the Underdog Lunchbox, right? Well, there was LSD in there, weed, everything. He'd come to my house. He'd just want to photograph my snakes, and I'm like, all right, cool. So we're in the big snake building on Manor Road, man, and he got his little lunchbox, man. So we proceed to partake into the lunchbox. Well, Bob and I went down into the basement. So I had these metal steps that went down to another 5,000 square feet down there. And I'm like, Bob. And he comes over. I'm like, dude, I'm so high. So Jolliffe got us, right? So he's at the top of the steps and we're at the bottom of the steps. I'm like, I can't get up there. He's laughing, and he's got his camera and everything. He does great photographs, right? But like that's just one of those times, man, where you're like, wow, like this is so cool, man. And I could go to my house and go to bed, and Jolliffe would stay up all night and photograph all this nice stuff. But I didn't have a care in the world, man. I knew Jolliffe was a cool dude, man. I didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
And he was the underdog. But he had a lunchbox, the Underdog, man. I was like, damn. And when he had that lunchbox in his hand, I was like, wow, I know what's in there, and it's not going to help me out tonight.
Scooby snacks.
Box full of trouble.
Yeah. Yep. You know, it wouldn't change a thing, man.
Yeah, it's there's people that I've met through snakes that I talk to on more of a regular basis than extended family that lives here in town. You know,
100%, man.
Like Mac Robinette.
Who?
Love him. So Mac is down here. He's in the Carolinas somewhere. He shows up at my front door, right? And he's got this sexy little chick with him in a sundress. And I couldn't even talk to him because I was looking at her. I was like, oh my goodness.
And who's this guy?
Mac Robinette. Robinette Reptiles. So he stays for a couple days, and beautiful girl. So I go down to Strictly again. I'm getting some animals from Strictly. I'm selling him some animals, and I'm headed home. And I call him up, and he goes, "Come to my house." So he was like 40 minutes off 95. I go there, and his old lady's doing a bikini titty thing, whatever, right? And he's like, "Well, we're gonna go there," and you know, she's walking around the fucking house nude. I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like she's so beautiful, man. I'm like, "What the fuck?" We end up going to this titty bar. She wins, hands down.
Were you the one telling me of that was it that movie the series that Lion King, Tiger King?
Tiger King.
There was that guy Mario, didn't you?
Oh,
know him?
listen to this shit.
You knew Mario.
Well, I met him.
Yeah.
I'm down at the Expo in Florida, and he had Zoological 2000. So I think it was around the year 2000, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
but I've heard stories about him. Like they, you know, got into some drug dealing shit, whatever. You know, he went to jail for quite a while, but then he got out. So I'm hearing all the stories about him, right? And I'm kind of petrified, to be honest with you. I meet him at the expo. Kim Bell introduced me to him, and exchanged phone numbers and all. And, you know, I'm out partying, running around at the expo, and he calls me up. Ding, ding, ding. I said, hello. And he said, hey, man. Hey, come to my fucking room. What room number or what tower are you in? And what you know. So I go up there, man, and fucking I got a drink in my hand. I go up there, I'm half cocked, open the door, right? Bang on the door. He opens the door, and he's like perched. He's perched up on this bed. This old lady's laying next to him. I'm like, kidding you, man. Like, I don't know if I should say this on this live
Right.
shit, but dude, there was a pile of cocaine like this big.
It's like an ant mound.
I like walk in the room. I got my drink right. He's like, hey, man, check it out. Check it out. I'm checking it out. Take a hit. Okay. So I stuck my fucking nose in this big pile of shit. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I look at Mario and I go, dude, I'm fucking done. Goodbye. Like I ran, like I went out of this room. I was like, there's hundreds of people down in the lobby. I can't see any of them. I couldn't even hear them. And I go down these fucking steps, man. And I'm out behind the pool, right? I'm like, fuck. And then I dart across behind the pool. I go, because my tower's over there. Like, you know, I'm like, fuck, I gotta get to my room. So I get to my room and I like suck down like the little miniatures that are in the fucking fridge, fucking down like 7 of them. I'm like, all right, I can breathe now. My old lady's calling me. She's like, where you at? I said, I'll be right there. Give me a second. Fuck. Go down there. You know? And I'm like, fuck me, man. I couldn't even talk to anybody. I was so fucked up. And I was like, damn, that was crazy, man. Like Mario, and he was scary, dude. Like he scared, like I'm not scared of many people. He fucking scared me. Like he was
Did you already do
he's a
any
bad
dealings with
dude,
him?
man. Bad dude.
Did you do any dealings with him?
Well, yeah. So
I mean, is that why he called you up to do?
He owed me $3,000. I said, fuck it, I'm not even worried about it. And Kim Bell
You can keep it.
Kim Bell sold him some shit, right? And her and I are on the phone, and I'm like, he owes me $3,000. She goes, he owes me like $3,500. I said, I'm not fucking sweating it. I'm not even calling this motherfucker up to ask him for the fucking money.
He can keep it.
It's a trip, man. Yeah, that was another time, man. Just there's so many beautiful stories and times and hanging out with people and
Yeah, well, he had like a guarded, gated thing to get in his facility in this Lion King.
Yeah, I went there. I went there once.
Oh, you did?
You did?
Wow.
Like,
did
yeah,
you meet
but-
Mario?
Well, we've met countless times, and like I'm sure he knows my face, but he don't know me, you know. But I went there one time, probably about a decade ago, to pick up marmosets, and I remember driving into like the compound, and he had like renovated it several times since then, so it probably doesn't look the same. But I remember he came out, and he had someone meet me, one of his like employees or whatever. And the employee hands me, what's that?
His subordinates.
Yes, exactly. And the subordinate had like the little cat carriers. You know what I'm talking about? Little plastic cat carriers.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 cat carriers, one in each hand. Each one's got like 2 or 3 marmosets, and baby marmosets in each one. And he's like, "Hey man, you're Phil?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "And you know Mario?" And I look over, and he just kind of gives me the
Yeah.
the nod. And
He's
I
a scary dude, man.
yeah, and I did the traditional, the one hand, and he nodded. He nodded completely straight faced, and I took my little marmoset carriers, and I got in my car, and I got the hell out of there. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, like when I met him, man, I was very intimidated, but we switched phone numbers, and when I got that phone call, man, it was like, I don't know, 11 maybe, and I'm in the bar with a whole shitload of people, and I'm pretty fucking tuned up, and he's like, hey, man, come to my fucking room. It's like, okay.
You walk in, there's tarps all over the floor, and he's made a murder room.
Just all that stuff, it's so cool, man. Like, just meeting all those people over the years, man. How cool is that? Like, it would have never happened for any of us if it wasn't for reptiles, right?
Yeah.
It would have never happened, man.
Agreed.
So that's my say on the whole thing, man. Like, that is the best part of the reptile industry is actually getting to meet people, like awesome people from everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like meeting you right now, man. Meeting him, you know, I mean, it just goes on. It doesn't stop. This shit keeps going on, man. Like you know, I'm a people person. I like people. I mean, there's not good people all the time. You meet some bad ones, whatever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop me from wanting to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think about it like, oh, I don't want to meet people because there's some bad ones. No.
Right.
Fuck the bad ones, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones.
There are.
Yeah. I dig it, man.
Yeah.
Like right now, I just met his daughter. She's 9.
Mm-hmm.
Cute, right? It just like that to me, and his wife, you know, I just dig
the rhino
that
rats,
shit, man. I love it, man. Like, I'll leave here tonight and I will lay in bed with Timmy, you know, when he's, you know, rubbing my back tonight.
with me.
You know what I'm saying? And I will think about, you know, everything. Timmy will scratch my back until 3, until I let him go. Like, I'll say, listen, motherfucker, I'm about done with you scratching my back. How about you stop now?
I was showing him snakes earlier, and he's like, "Is there a mark on my forehead?" I was like, "No, why?" He's like, "I got bit by an annulated boa."
Oh God!
Which isn't that like?
So we're at his house, man. We're fucking around with the annulated boas, but this motherfucker just latched onto my forehead. I said, "I can't get him off, Timmy."
That's what happens when you stick your head into the enclosure.
So aren't those supposed to be like the chill corrales, though? I don't know.
They are. But not at night when you're, you know.
That was fun, man. That was a good time.
I don't know if you can even see anything. Is there any way of?
You can text it to me, and I'll send it to Phil.
And then it got stuck.
Yeah.
It opened his mouth
I was trying to get to the video function of my
God damn it to me, I can't get him off. And it's just like now we're back in his house, like, and we're doing gin and tonics. I'm playing with the snakes.
Came your way.
Oh, you got Phil's attention. Gin.
Love it. Love me some pine needles.
Tim, have you ever kept a Ruschenberger eye?
No. They're getting around now.
Man, that's a bucket list snake for me.
Here, I'm gonna send you this too. Check out the head pattern on this. Well, I guess they're not called Aryan Giants anymore, but Darwin.
You can say that on our show.
Okay.
Hey man, so Timmy's good friends with Trooper Walsh, who like basically ran the Washington Zoo.
Oh yeah,
and
he's the legend, man.
Dragons. At the Washington Zoo. So I go there one time. So Timmy hooks me up with Troop, where I become friends with him, whatever. He invites me down. He says, the fucking babies are hatching. I said, I'm on my fucking way. Drive down there. Takes me into this room. It's 130 degrees in there, right? And he's got a pole. So I'm like, where the fuck is the Komodo? He goes, boom, boom, boom on the ground a couple times. This big lizard climbed out of a hole. And it was Matt, dude. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to get to the door. I want to get out of there at this point. This thing is massive. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, this is scary as fuck. And I'm sweating profusely because it's 130. Like, I'm like,
it's in their exhibit, yeah.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. And I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. And Trooper's like, no, you're not going anywhere. And I'm like, fuck me. I'm in this cage with this massive lizard and Trooper with a stick, with a fucking stick. I'm like, what is that going to do to help us? This thing, I mean, it came out of a hole in the earth, man. Its head was this long. Dude, I'm not even kidding you. Its tongue was like that long. I was like, fuck. Like, I can't deal with this Trooper. He'll be fine. He won't bite you. I said, oh, that's very reassuring.
Again, famous last words.
This room, and look, these little Komodos are coming out of the egg, man. The first ones ever hatched in captivity. The Washington Zoo, dude, I'm looking at them. I'm like, what the? And they were pretty big, dude, for babies.
I wish they kept that color.
Yeah, they got
that would have
that
been
stripe
freaking
pattern.
sweet.
Did you ever get the infamous offer for the special water monitors back in the day?
Yeah. Well, his big focus was the Komodos, man, I think, right?
No, what I'm saying is we would always get like the email that says, you know, oh, my name is, you know, Bob, and I'm with this importer, and you've already spent, you know, $100,000 in imports with us. So if you want this next shipment of, you know, sulfur water monitors, we have some special ones with big yellow spots. Wink, 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 wink.
Yeah.
$300. Wink, 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 wink. Yep. Have to be like, no, you can keep those ones. No problem. Keep them.
Wow.
Did you text that,
So
Jimmy?
where
Because it
do-
didn't
where
come
do
through
you
yet,
live,
Tim.
brother?
What's that?
Where do you live?
I'm down in Boca Raton.
Oh, good. We'll see you in like a day and a half.
Nice. Are you guys coming? You guys are coming down this way or no?
Yes, sir.
Where are you guys heading?
Everywhere. Down 75, up 95.
Nice. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I wish you guys were going to Strictly or Underground or something. I'd link up with you guys.
Dude, I'll meet you strictly. Listen, okay. So you know Manny Frady? That little motherfucker.
Yes,
Do you know him?
I know who you're talking about.
All right. So I did a deal with Manny down at Daytona, right? He gave me like a bunch of cash, and then he owed me 30 grand. And so I'm calling him, man. He's not picking up the phone.
There
And
was
I'm
a
like,
big
"Listen,
fiasco
you
with that whole
motherfucker."
thing, right?
I said,
Yeah,
you
you
don't live
started
that
wrong.
far from me, you piece of shit. So it went on and on for like 2 years, man. And I finally said, fuck it, I'm going down there and get my money. So I get this buddy of mine, Kevin, who goes to all the shows with me, has for, 20 years, right? He flies in from California and we fly down to Florida and we rent a convertible Corvette, which my old lady was not happy about. She was like, you're having too much fun. I hate you. And I go to Strictly, right? Because I don't know where Manny's fucking, his little mortgage business actually wasn't little. But so Little Ray gets in the car. He goes, I'll show you exactly where it is. I said, good. So I follow Little Ray out of Strictly, and it's like a mile up the road, dude, a mile and a half. And Little Ray points out the window at this building. I said, damn, that's nice. Like, how can this guy not pay me my 30 grand? Look at this place. So I go in there, and it's like 3 levels, man, all glass and shit. There's sexy lady behind the counter and shit. When I walk in, I said, where the fuck is Manny? And she goes, right next door at the bank. I said, excellent.
What timing?
Yeah.
Right? It's like noon. So I go over to the bank, and as I open the door, Manny's walking out. I go, hey, motherfucker, how are you doing? And he just puts his head down and he goes, fuck. And he goes, you're going to beat me up? I said, I'm thinking about it. I said, it depends on what you're going to say to me when I ask this next question. I said, where's the fucking money? He goes, I'll have it tomorrow. I said, well, let's go to lunch. So we went to lunch and hung out, man. I like Manny. I don't want to say anything bad. This is back in the day. He was going through some hard times, man, with the mortgage business at the time, So I don't want to say anything bad about him, but it was classic. But he did. He took us out to lunch, man. He paid me. Everything's cool. It worked out all right.
Business.
But yeah, I want the Van Ostrens, man, because Mikey told me, he says, I know where shop is. I said, I'll come to your place. I'll meet you there. Time you get
Nice.
in. He says 9. I said, I'll be there at 12. And
Nice.
Little Ray took me over there, man. Oh, another great story. Look, I go down to Van Ostrens and I'm buying some shit. I'm selling some shit. And they had this pair of Angolan pythons, man, from some zoo. And Big Ray had him back in, his office back there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's got him back there. And, him and Mike are like, look at him. And they're like, 2.5 feet, whatever, 30 grand.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm studying them, and I'm thinking, yeah, I want to breed these things, so I'm going to buy them. I said, listen, I can't pay you right now. You give me the fuckers, I'll take them home, and then I'll pay you at the expo. And the expo was like another month ahead or whatever. So Big Ray and Mikey gave them to me. I took them home, and then at the expo, I paid them, man. So, I mean, those guys are Jeannie, Mikey, Little Ray, Big Ray. Shit.
Yeah, man. The whole family.
Yeah.
Dude, Jeannie used to sneak in because I did the venomous room. Jeannie used to sneak in the venomous room because Pops was really cool, man. He wouldn't make me like clock in, clock out. It's kind of like as long as the shit gets done, you don't got to worry about being here exactly at 9 o'clock or whatever. So like sometimes I'd stroll in at like 10 or 11, whatever, And Jeannie used to sneak in the room and she would hang Playgirl magazines all around the room. Yeah, and then they would be sitting in the office in the back, in that little back office where the Angolans were, and they would be watching me on camera, and I'd be sitting there trying to unlock the door, and I'd be like, "Why are all the lights off?" And I walk in, there's just dicks everywhere.
Dude, I love Jeannie, man. She was the best.
And dude, she bred some tortoises, man. Dude, she had some crazy Aldabras, like weird, crazy colored, like slate colored Aldabras.
I'm sure she did, man. Working for Strictly, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, she loved them tortoises, man.
How long did you work for Mikey?
So I started basically being a what's that?
Oh, I'm
The lighter.
trying to get the lighter.
So I started working for Jay Eaton, and basically we would do we were supplying all the rodents for like almost all the big box pet stores in Florida, and I had to make several stops a day, and one of which would be to go to Strictly and get some like some filler stuff for orders and whatnot. So I was going to Strictly and picking stuff up and dropping stuff off for Jay probably at least 4 if not 5 days a week, and then Pops wanted a venomous guy, and I was kind of moonlighting it, and then me and Jay very politely parted ways. We're still very, very good friends. And I wound up being full-time there. And I did that for a couple years, not long. But I mean, I would say maybe 3-4 years total with everything. So, and I worked for Underground before that. So I'd always see Mike.
Yeah. I know that. Hey, you know Amir, right?
I know him, not like that though.
Oh, I do. Let me tell you a funny story, man. We're gonna get into this fucking story. Hold on.
Yeah, man, he's quite the character.
So we've been doing business and everything, and I'm fucking good with Amir and all. He comes to my fucking house, and we go immediately from the airport to the bar. Oh no, liquor store. And Amir seems like a connoisseur of whiskey, all right? So he wants to get this bottle of beautiful, nice, like $120 bottle of whiskey, right?
Sure.
I'm like, excellent. So we go to my house. My old lady's there. She's cooking food and everything. And Amir, I call Smear. Anyway, we're doing shots in the kitchen and hanging out, and I'm on 117 acres. So now we're going to go get medieval. We're going to get in side-by-sides. We're going out into the woods and get crazy. So Amir, he's doing these shots with me, and I'm thinking he's got it, man. He's good with this shit, right? He can handle this. Well, we're out on the deck, and he starts talking shit about Tracy Barker. He's talking about 9/11 and shit. I said, you motherfucker, man, you're starting to get on my nerves. So we get in. I get in with him in my side-by-side. My old lady gets in her side-by-side with a friend, and we go into the woods, right? So Smear's kind of getting on my nerves a little bit. So we pull into the river, and I drag him out of the side-by-side. I'm fucking drowning him in the river.
Jesus
You know,
Christ.
just hold on to the water until we start sucking some water in his lungs and shit. And then I get him back in his side-by-side, and then we go across the creek to my buddy Jay's 100-some acres, right? And Amir goes, I got to take a piss. I said, get out. Take a piss, motherfucker. So he gets out, right? I take off. It's pitch dark, man. It's pitch dark. I leave him. I go across the fucking river. My old lady's over there with my friend, and she's like, where the fuck is Smear? I should have left him over there. She goes, you can't do that. I said, oh, fuck. All right, I'll go get him. So I go over, and he's bouncing his head off trees, man. Like, he's fucking hammered. And I'm like, get it. And he's, oh, thank you, saving me, man, you motherfucker. You know, I drive across the river, hook up with my old lady, and we were out of smokes. I said, go get some cigarettes, would you, baby? And she leaves to go get cigarettes. Well, I had also stopped at this water hole, right? And it was like 4 feet deep. It smelled like fucking ass. And I stopped right there, and I go, come here, Smear. And I pulled him out, and I threw him in there, and I choked him around a little bit. I put him back in the fucking side-by-side, drove back to the house, right? My old lady's gone. She's getting cigarettes. And we're in the driveway, and I'm like, listen, fucker, you can't come back in the house right now. Look at you. You're dirty, you know? And so I get a hose out. I strip down, motherfucker. Get into your underwear.
It's like Pulp Fiction.
And I'm hosing them down. So
Call him the
Brandon Week from Summit Reptiles is on my deck. And I'm hosing them down, you know. My old lady's getting cigarettes. I'm like, come on, man, you're good. And he starts fucking swinging at me. I said, wait a minute. He's taking pot shots at me, right? I said, Smear, this is not going to work. I said, do that again. I'm going to fuck you up. Well, he did, and I did. So I punched him in the face a couple times. I took him down on the ground, and I beat him in the face a little bit. And fucking Brandon Weeks on the deck, and he goes, dude, fucking hit him again. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, fuck him. Hit him again. He fucked you. I said, yeah, fuck him. So on top of it, bang, 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 a couple more times. So now my old lady's driving down the driveway, right? He's in his underwear. He's soaking fucking wet. And I'm shoving him in his car, telling him to go home. I said, I'm done with you. So I'm putting him in the car. My old lady pulls up, parks, and she goes, what are you doing? I said, Smear's gone. He's out of here. And I'm shoving the car. She goes, no, he's not. She gets him out, pats him off, takes him in the house and shit. So we eat crabs, man. Seriously. Like, we go in the house after all this fucking conversation, everything happened. We're eating crabs. We're like banging claws and shit. We're eating them, you know, being a Smear. And I get up in the morning, man, and we got to go to, what's his name down in Richmond?
Where?
No. Shit. It'll come to me. We got to drive down there together, right? Well, his head's all, dude, I dragged his head all around on the asphalt, and I dotted both his eyes out. Shit, his nose was over here, and we're riding down the road together, and I felt fucking terrible. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. He goes, you know, I deserved it. I'm not sure of that. Ian, we were going to Ian's, man. Look. So we get to Ian's, man, and Ian's like, you motherfucker. Like, instantly, he sees fucking Smear, and he goes, I can't believe you did that to him. He goes, dude, if it was me, and I beat you with a fucking 2-by. I said, why don't you calm down? I said, you're making the situation worse than it already is. And we went out to dinner together and shit. But Ian couldn't shut. He goes, man, you fucking thick. And I was like, listen, man, don't beat me up, man. I'm already feeling bad enough. I just drove 3 hours down to Richmond with him. I don't feel good about what happened, you know? And then we went back to the house and look, everything was fine. And then I went to the expo in August, which was like 3 weeks later. Fuck. You still have black eyes, man. And I go up to his table. I'm like, what's up, motherfucker? And he goes, dude, I told everybody that we wrecked on a 4-wheeler. I said, you fucking liar. I started telling her, I said, no, I fucked this shit up. And we're still friends to this day, man. Like, Smear and I are fine, man. I love him. Amir is one of the nicest guys I've fucking hung out with for years, but that was fucking crazy, man. Like,
I don't know who the guy is, so.
you don't know Amir?
No.
Oh, my God. Well, Snakes at Sunset.
Yeah, he helped those guys out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good at getting shops up and running and kind of like lighting the fire and getting it going, that kind of thing. Very good.
Again, I like all the people, right? Some I fuck up, some I don't. You know, I might fuck Timmy up tonight. We get back to the room. He doesn't want to scratch my back. I'm going to fuck him up.
He's lucky if he'll get in the room.
Yeah, right. All about the little spoon.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just easier that way.
Oh man.
Oh man. Well, speaking of the room, we probably should get back there at some point soon.
Yeah, we're at 3.5 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah. I see what you got.
Phil's got to work in the morning.
Yeah.
I got to work in the morning.
We all do.
I don't have to work, do shit tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the way.
Get on his nerves. That's my job tomorrow. Get on Timmy's fucking nerves all day long.
Oh man, it's great. That's good. Well, hey boys, is there any closing comments or remarks or anything you guys want to do?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any.
I'm sorry for bringing him on.
My phone's blowing up. It's this is the best show ever. This is going to go down in history.
Dude,
You know?
we're coming to your house, man.
He's gonna fuck you up next.
To your house, right? So we're at his house right now, but we are on the road to Florida. We're coming to your house. You got any kids?
No, thank God.
Got an
Well,
old lady?
It's going to be, what's that?
You got an old lady?
We don't live together, not yet. So,
All right, we're coming there. You got any titty bars by your house?
more than you can shake a stick.
I was
at.
gonna say, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure there's plenty of them
I'm
down there in
saying
his.
Yeah.
Jimmy dropped me off.
There you go, Phil. Looking forward to that, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll break out the IV.
Dialysis, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, shit. Like I said, okay, I leave this conversation with just love people, man.
Yeah.
I love you. I love him. I love him. Listen, man, people are where it's at, man. And this connection with reptiles has brought a lot of people together. And I think that's the best thing about it. And I'll
Absolutely.
leave it with that.
Hell yeah.
But nobody loves you, so as I said, you're just
No, wait a minute.
you're just washed up. Now that
Dude,
we
I
have
got a
all this stuff
beautiful
on
lady
record,
home that loves me.
now that we have all this on record, you can go back to your little cave and anonymity.
Well, I was just gonna say, Timmy, you got to get him to make a friggin' Instagram and post all these old awesome pictures.
Well, now I'm just finding
Oh, I
out about
got
some
some
of these
great
just to
shit.
begin with.
Throwing Tarzan out the fucking window.
I'm not, that's,
Excellent.
we're talking about the old stuff.
Listen,
The one
Never
that you
mind,
told me you had,
I-
Kathy, and what's his name? We were all there when the first albinos were being
yeah,
born.
fucking Craig Brenning.
Yeah, see, I gave you an authentic poster that you don't even have. You have thousands of these things. You don't have a single one,
I don't.
and I gave you the only one that's known to exist.
He's got one.
You
Man.
got it.
No. Well,
Well, I gave it to Debbie when she dropped you off.
shut up.
You didn't give her nothing.
Hold on,
headache.
Dude, you fucked up. Listen to me. You fucked up. You brought me. Look, you know who I am. You know how fucking back crazy. Listen, you invited me.
Don't make me regret it. Like I said,
Put this
I'll
on
treat
yourself.
you like a misbehaving kid on a field trip. I will take you to an airport and send your ass right back.
Is that what actually happens?
Dude, you think you could get me in? Dude, I'll flee. I'll run from you.
Well, good.
I'll get a cab.
As long as you're not around me, I'm
I'll
fine.
get a cab.
Good.
You can't shove me on a plane.
Kind of hard to do when you don't have any money, no
Oh,
wallet.
tell them what you did at fucking Starbucks. Let's go into this shit. Hold on.
So
Hold on, man. So this dummy and I are pulling to the Starbucks. Well, there's a little low fucking level thing. We got 2 pedal bikes on top of his fucking
so my
vehicle.
bike is ripped
This
off the top.
dickhead hits it. My bike doesn't fall. His does. I look over to the side, man. I just see his bike flying
Flying
off
off
the
the
roof.
back.
And I'm like laughing. And he's like, that's not really funny. I said, I think it's actually classic. And my bike was still up there. My bike is still up there. His bike's in the hotel room. You scare somebody to steal it. My bike
Nobody
is
wants to
still on top of his CV. What is it? The fucking CVRX.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was earlier today. That was like 4 hours ago, whatever. Dude, we went in there, and all of a sudden we hear this crunching noise, and I see his pedal bike fly off the top. And I'm like, Starbucks. I'm like, get the fuck. So immediately I grab my phone. I'm like, oh, I'm getting this shit, dude. So I'm filming for I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes, and I realized I didn't hit the button again. It's not on. I'm like, fuck. Should I hit the button again? And then I'm like, come on, mother. And he's holding his pedal bike and shit, and crying like a bitch.
Oh,
And this is just the beginning of what the fuck is going to happen. Dude,
son, you got a
we're
long
not even in Florida yet.
week.
God damn it.
it's gonna be good.
Well, we'll be back Thursday. Not doing THP. We're doing a Corn Stars episode.
Nice.
We'll
Jake
be at your house on Thursday.
Jake doesn't know that
and
yet.
we'll do another podcast at your house. We're coming to your fucking house, man. Trust me. We're doing 75 and 95. So we're going to seek you out.
Make it happen.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are curious, there is a brand new episode of Venom Exchange Radio with myself and the illustrious Mr. Nipper Reed.
It's a nice Arizona
So,
recap.
It is a nice Arizona recap, so definitely check that out.
Made
if
me
you want.
jealous that I didn't go.
And you'll be on the next one, brother.
I hope so.
Yeah, so new episode,
I can't
Venom
wait to
Exchange
meet you in
Radio.
person.
It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun.
This episode was brought to you by Puget Sound
I think Tim's
Pythons.
a little scared now. He's looked like he's chilling in his seat. He's a little nervous. He's a little nervous.
Yeah.
Puget Sound Pythons and BlackBoxCages.com. Check them out. Facebook, Instagram. You need a rack, you need a cage. They're the people you need to talk to. Thank you both.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Good time.
Yeah,
Hell of a show.
good times.
Hell of a show.
Absolutely.
All
We
right, I'll
will-
see you soon, man.
That's a threat. That's a promise.
Coming to your house. Send me your address.
I'd give you his address, but I don't know what his I know where his packages go, but I don't know where his
He's not going anywhere.
We'll get it.
We'll make it happen, Captain.
All right. Everyone have a good evening. Thank you.
Shit.
Bye.